Hello everyone, hopefully you can hear me. If you can, please say Big Bang, and that way I'll know that you can hear me. I've been struggling with the audio this whole stream series, and I've been tweaking the settings every time I will listen to the VODs, and I have again updated the audio settings. I hope they will be okay this time. It'll just be a constant battle. While Cecil battles the forces of evil, I will battle the forces of audio. I'll probably will just give in at some point and get a new microphone, but then that means I'll have to relearn everything about the microphone settings. Okay, Big Bang is available, so people can hear me. There's not a lot to talk about at today's intro. I want to, let's see. What do we got? Oh yeah. Sometimes I'll like my nieces and nephews will send me letters and I'll send letters back. I got one the other day. I just want to let them know that I'm working on it. I'll send you guys something soon. So if you guys are watching, what's up? How's it going? Let's see. I was looking at the YouTube comments the other day, specifically about the Spoony Bard scene. And I forgot to mention that, of course, like, I live in like Arizona, which is like the desert, and it's the middle of nowhere. But we did get a lot of British stuff on our PBS, and I really loved watching Are You Being Served? That was like, to this day, that's my favorite British show. I don't see a lot of people talk about it ever anymore, but boy, that was such a good show. And I forgot that, well, one, there's a guy named Mr. Spooner there, and I probably would have thought of Spoony Bard, I would have thought of him first, but also just in all the British shows that I saw, they always just had really weird phrasing, like Spoonie in there, so that probably also kind of collided with all of the stuff that I thought of when I saw Spoony Bard for the first time. It was like right at the exact time I was doing all that too. So it definitely felt like a weird word at the time, and it is a bit like a British slang, as I think we saw, so it has like a Britishness to it. I'm mostly restating this because I think eventually Japanese fans are going to find these streams. So I'm like providing info for their sake as well as everyone else's sake. I guess I'm kind of explaining everything to everyone. All right, so there's that. There's one more thing, but I probably will save it when we get there, when we get to Mysidia. Yeah, so what are we doing today? Today we're going to be doing, let's see, Golbez just took Rosa, and now we're going to start by going to the inn and devise our plan. We're going to heal our wound and devise our plan. And then after that, we're going to go get on the ship. And there's a scene at the ship. Oh yeah, wait, there's also a scene with the king that we're going to have to do. And then we go to the ship. And then we get attacked by a sea monster. And then Cecil's going to wash up on shore all alone and wander into the town of Mysidia, the place that he attacked at the beginning of the game. So that's the schedule for today. We'll probably not do the elder stuff at Mysidia, because that'll start the whole next story segment, and that'll be a lot of work. If you've been following these streams, you know how much we spend on each scene. Spoony Bard scene, we spent like 2 hours in that one room. That was so long. I was like, I could have watched a movie, but nah, I just talked about stuff. All right, so I think that's it for today. So let's get going to the actual game. And I actually have to do a load of save state because we were in the middle. All right, here we are. Hopefully people can hear me. This dang audio. Oh, I gotta make it bigger. Oh yeah, and let me get back to the score. Okay, so the scoring, if you're new, we started everyone, all these different translations, at 100 points. And every time there's like a mistake or an addition or a subtraction, we'll take off a point. And when it comes to nuances and things, those are very case by case. And sometimes I'll take off points, and sometimes I'll add points. And I'll try not to get like too splitting hairs like I did last time, like last stream. But just know that when like a translator, a professional translator is working, they're thinking that deeply into things. Well, at least I guess the good ones. I guess the bad ones might not. But anyway, so that's how that works. Oh yeah, later I want to redo that money glitch duplication trick. but I've tried it so many times and it sucks. So I don't know what to do at this point. But I'm gonna get it to happen so I can just have lots of free money. Okay. Here we go. Whatever. I'll fix all this stuff later. All right, let's go. We're going to the inn. We're starting off by going to sleep. All right, here's the inn. While we're here, let's get some items. How much do I have? Okay, let me get can I get 30 potions and some fries? I don't think I need anything else, so let's go. All right, as soon as I walk here, it'll take me. Yeah, so it's taking over. Okay, so we're now at the inn, and the inn owner is saying, Yan-sama, oskare desho, yukuri o yasumi kudasai. And it's saying, Master Yang, you must be exhausted. Please rest up easy here. Please rest well, something like that. And in the Super NES, that became Yang. He must be very tired. Please rest here. I mean, as a translation, this all works, but we'll see that the Sama would have been nice to have in there because he's a well-respected monk. But I won't mark off on that. Let's see. J2E. Sir Yang, you must be tired. Please rest. Naming Way. You all must be worn out. Please rest here. So as we've seen, he's specifically talking to Yang, and that is not what is brought into the translation here, so I will take a point off the Naming Way here. Like for most people, this difference won't matter, but as a translator, you do have to care about these things because no one else really will, you know? And when you spend your time, like even if you're just writing a text or a blog post or just a social media response or just anything like that, you probably spend a lot of time hitting the backspace key a lot, trying different words, trying punctuations, trying emojis. You probably spend a lot of time on doing that stuff. And it's the job of the translator to care about all the work that went into each line. And these are like actual works of art and not just a social media crap post. Okay. Oh, is there a secret item in that chest? In that cabinet? Alright. So the party has reached the bedroom within the inn, and now they're planning their strategy. Cecil looks sad or down or something. So, okay, so Gilbert says, Rosa o tasuke na kereba. We must help Rosa. We have to help Rosa. How that comes about. Okay, Edward says in SNES, we must rescue Rosa. Okay, good. J2E. Rosa ... What? J2E's being a little weird here. Like, so Cecil's about to say this next big line that's really long, but this J2E has messed it up and given all of that text to Gilbert. Yeah, look, we can see the J2E patch, like, did make changes to these lines, but they never understood or realized that they had messed up who's saying what. So I'm gonna take off a point on the J2E here. Alright, so it just goes Rosa ... and we'll get to the next part in a minute. Alright, Naming Way. We must rescue Rosa. Okay, good job. I won't do that every time, just being goofy right now. Alright, so to that, Cecil responds, and he's doing his ... because, you know, he's down and sullen. Maybe he's weak, I don't know. He says in Japanese, Gorubeza ni taiko suru ni wa hiku te ga hitsuyou da ... So that means, in order to counter Golbez, airships are necessary ... That's how it literally goes. So if we want to deal with Golbez, we'll need an airship. You can see how this got trimmed down, all of this. Like the whole point of Golbez is missing in the Super NES, but because the Super NES was trimmed so much, this isn't out of the ordinary for us. So it just says, but we need the airship, period. The airship is pretty weird. An airship would be good. This does feel like one of those non-native English speakers from Japan writing. Also, airship is capitalized. It's kind of weird. I'll just take off a point just because it's kind of weird here. And it did take off the whole first half there. Alright. J2E says, in order to fight Golbez... Oh, so this is just Gilbert still talking. This isn't Cecil anymore. This is pretty weird. Like, I feel like I should take off... I'm going to take off another point. In order to fight Golbez, we're going to need an airship. Okay, it gets that point across. It just gives it to the wrong person that says it. That's a thing that happens sometimes, is that you'll give the wrong name tag to something. Alright. And then in naming way, Cecil says, but we need an airship. Like, the whole point of needing the airship isn't as clear anymore. It is basically a rewrite, it looks like, of the Super NES. But we need an airship. See, this is where I can get picky, because it's not the same. It kind of fixes the weird part of the Super NES, so I'll let it slide this time. Okay. Next part is Skashi Kute wa Baron de shika tsukurenai ... However, airships are only made in Baron ... They can only be made there. Okay, so there's that part. And then in Super NES that became Baron is the only one who has it. I don't know, that's different from being able to make it. Having one and being able to make them is different. The point though is that Baron is the only. So I'll allow it here. J2E says, but only Baron has them. Again, it's giving this line to Gilbert when it should be Cecil. I'm gonna take off a point. But the only thing is fine. The only Baron thing is fine, so I'll do that. Okay, naming way. Baron is the only place that has them. So none of them really quite get, like, if you were taking a translation course, it would be a little different. Like, you might get marked off some points for not getting it quite right. I'm going to be lenient and say that's okay. And these ... show, like, he's, like, hesitant to even, like, consider anything about that. His emotional state isn't really well conveyed, but it's okay. Yang now responds, Baro ni shinyu dekiru hoho wa nai mono kana. And I wonder if there might not be a way to infiltrate Baron, is how that goes in Japanese. Like, isn't there some way, I wonder, that we can sneak in? So that Super NES, that kind of comes down to, can't we sneak in? Okay, that's fine. J2E, I wonder if there's any way to sneak into Baron. Technically, he's having a negative question, but that's fine. How does this go? Okay. And then naming way says, can we sneak in? Okay, so they're all just kind of like trimmed down, but not terrible. Alright, so Cecil looks up now. He seems a little more, there's a little more pep in him, like he was kind of just distraught and ready to give up, maybe. Like a give up feeling was maybe in there, because after everything that's gone down. But now he's excited again. So he says now, Baron wa akai tsubasa ga shuryoku no tame hikaku teki kaihei butai ga teusu da. And that means, let's see, it's kind of a long line. Because the Red Wings are like the main force of Baron, the sea military unit is relatively weak. Not weak. Teusu. Let's see. What does this thing say? Teusu. Like short of hands or insufficient. There's like just less to deal with, is the feeling. Then he goes on to say, Shinyu suru nara umikara ... exclamation. If we're going to sneak in, let's do it from the sea. There's an unstated verb in Japanese here, but if we're gonna sneak in, the sea is the way. Is kind of the idea. All right. Super NES. All of this becomes Baron's main force is the Red Wings. The sea power and C, S, and the P in power are capitalized for some weird reason. The sea power is relatively weak. Okay, let's make it on the sea. Again, this feels like this all could have been written better, or like edited in some way. It sounds kind of funky, but I think it'll get the point across. All right, J2E. Okay, so now Cecil is talking to J2E now. As Baron's military strength lies in the Red Wings, their navy is comparatively weak. If we're going to sneak in, we'll have to do it by sea. All right, this ... exclamation shows like, he's like, oh yeah, we can do this now. Like he's suddenly like kind of excited. You don't really see that in the J2E. I won't take off a point on that, but these are all the little teeny nuances underneath everything, and you want a translation to try to convey as much as possible. Okay, so Namingway says, Baron's main power is the Red Wings, but its naval force is relatively weak. We should be able to slip in by boat. Again, I would have liked a ... exclamation, or just an exclamation maybe. But yeah, that's fine. Alright. And then Rydia responds in Japanese. She says, Dattara fune ga iru wa. In that case, we'll need a boat. That's how that goes. Okay, that's pretty weird. So Rydia has already like made the logical connection. Like, if we're gonna go on the sea, we're gonna need a boat. In the Super NES, this has become, but how? So I'm taking off a point there, because Rydia is like actually really smart. She's been like giving these adults lectures, getting them back on their feet literally sometimes. She's making these logical connections. She's pretty smart and skilled for her age. Okay, J2E. Then we're going to need a ship, period. Okay, good. Again, this wa here is a feminine suffix, sentence suffix in Japanese. It's kind of an emphasis feeling to it. And when you translate that, it just falls straight out of the translation. Whether or not you want to try to reinflate it back in some way is up to you, but it's pretty common to just not even bother. You might make things worse if you aren't careful sometimes. All right. Looks like Rydia's line is completely missing in Namingway. All right. Namingway lost a point there. Super NES is currently at -144. J2E is currently at -61, and Namingway is currently at -149. Alright. Next line. Oops, I gotta click in there. Alright. We got a bunch of Yang text coming up. Oh, Namingway looks like it just ignored a lot of stuff here. Yeah, okay. Oh. Okay, so Yang now says, Naraba sasoku myocho o ni tanomi fune o dashite marao. In that case, let's in the early morning, let's ask the king to provide a boat for us, kind of feeling, just like early morning myocho, right? Myocho is like early morning, tomorrow morning, I guess. For some reason, early morning feels, but I guess it's just tomorrow, maybe. Just tomorrow. So early tomorrow, we'll ask the king and have him give us a boat, basically. Okay, and he actually says the word king here. All right, in Super NES, I will ask the king for a ship. He will cooperate with you. Okay, so the time, what is it? The time scale that we're dealing with here, timeline that we're dealing with is not as clear in Super NES. I'm gonna take off a point because it's a teeny detail. J2E, let's ask the king first thing tomorrow morning. This K I would have lowercased because shouldn't be a proper noun there necessarily. Alright. But they got that in there. Okay, Namingway. Then I'll ask the king for a ship in the morning. Okay, that's fine, but the problem is this is the last line in Namingway. So we're gonna knock off a bunch of points in a minute. Alright. The next line by Yang is Sonata tachi ni wa seiwa ni natta. So we owe you. You did a lot for us. Kind of what that means. You people did a lot for us. Seiwa ni naru. It's kind of like a. It's hard to explain off the top of my head. Alright. He's saying that like we owe you guys for everything you did. You guys did a lot for us. That's missing in the Super NES. J2E says, you came to his aid in a time of need. I don't think this line was technically about the king himself. It might just in general, or Yang, I don't know. But it's fine, I'll just allow it. Also, Namingway, again, is missing this line, so it loses a point. Alright, the next line by Yang is Omo Kyoryoku wa oshimanu hazu. So the king will surely not hold back with his cooperation. Like, he will be very forthgiving with his cooperation. Although it's using a negative form, that's why I was trying to stick a negative in there. He will cooperate with you, is how that Super NES came to be. That's fine, I guess. Alright. The king will most certainly grant you one in the J2E. Well, he's talking about the boat specifically here. He's actually talking about just cooperation in general. Kyoryoku, cooperation, collaboration. But I won't mark off on that. And then naming away loses a point again, because it's missing a line. And then Cecil responds with that, with tanomu, ... and it's like, please, or thanks, or I'm counting on you. It can go a couple different ways, tanomu. It's like, it's what you say when you're gonna ask someone to do a favor for you. I became thanks in Super NES, please, ... in J2E. It has to even have the ... dots, and the naming away is gonna lose a point, because it has missing that sentence. Okay. Now that we've got our plan set, the team is going to start talking about something else, about everything that has just happened. Yang says in Japanese. Oh wait, well first there's going to be an easy type change in here. We'll look at that in a second. Yang says in Japanese, ... ano ryukishi wa ittai. It's an incomplete sentence, and it's saying, just who was that dragon knight? Super NES, who is that dragoon? J2E, who was that dragon knight? Naming way, that dragoon, who was he? Is it clear that Yang is talking in this one though? Like, they left out the Yang name thing in there. Yeah, I'm gonna take off a point because that's important to know who's talking. Like, if I didn't credit a line of dialogue with someone in my professional work, they would, the director, like, someone would come back to me and ask, like, who is this supposed to be for sure. So that's important to have that in there. Alright. Kind tweet. Oh wait, what's different here? Oh, okay. So the easy type put a space here on this first line by Yang. Just a space. And I never would have noticed this without this script thing. I guess someone thought it was important back in the day. Those kids won't understand. Okay, so Cecil responds to that question, but he's very hesitant because he's really shook up about everything that's been going on. Okay, he says in Japanese, Kain toite boku no ... shinyu datta ... And his name is Kane, and he ... was my best friend ... That's kind of how that goes. So his name is Kane, and he was my best friend. Super NES, that became Kane. Kane, who used to be my best friend. I would have probably put a comma in there, but it's okay. J2E. He's Kane, and he is ... was ... my rival and ... best friend. Alright. And J2E is adding some stuff in here. I would have just... This rival part, I'm going to just take a point off on the rival part. That was added in. It wasn't in the original J2E patch. Someone decided to put that in there. I don't know why. Maybe there's a reason for all of these little additions that J2E did. Alright. So that was a mistake. Naming way. Kane. He used to be my best friend. ... Okay. Then he says, Tomo ni baro no nukeyo to chikatta no ni. And this means that we had sworn to leave Baron together, and yet ... It's like, even though we swore that we would leave Baron, he went and ... or something like that. There's a and yet, or even then, or even after that kind of feeling. Alright. Super NES. Together, we swore to get out of Baron. Okay. And some of the dots would have been nice, but that's fine. J2E, we vowed to escape Baron together. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, naming way. We'd sworn to fight Baron together. No, nukeru is to like come out, to fall out, to be admitted, to be missing, to escape, to exit. I don't think fight is in there, like the meaning is necessarily. See, this is where I'm picking, I'm like splitting hairs, but this is where all of the lore is, like these cutscenes is all of the lore that we know. And as you twist things little by little, you'll get them out of tune. Alright, so the part that is sworn and together and Baron, I'm okay, I'll allow this fight. Okay, so Yang responds, "So deyatta ka," and it's kind of like a formal. He speaks in kind of a formal way, as I keep saying. He has a formality to him a little bit, and that just means, "Oh, I see," ... or "So that's how it was." ... And Super NES, I see. That became J2E. Really ... It almost feels like he's a little suspicious. I'll say it's okay. And then that became IC in naming way. See, even these little lines, I picked them apart. Alright. Gilbert says, see, there's so many dots right now. Gilbert says ... Tomokaku, kyou wa yukkuri yasumo ... So that means ... For now, let's just get some sleep. Get some sleep for today ... So Super NES says, anyway, we must take a rest now, and that's fine. It doesn't say for today. I would have liked that, that's okay. J2E, in any case, let's rest easy tonight. Rest easy tonight, I don't know. It feels weird. Yukkuri yasumu is a little different than rest easy. In this case, I feel. But whatever. Naming way. Anyway, let's get some rest for now. Okay, that's fine. Alright, then Cecil responds with ... and he's looking sad or down or something. He's looking, his sprite is facing the ground again. So after that discussion about Kane has probably got him upset again, or like he's preoccupied now. Oh, you know what? This just made me realize, I bet there were some... are there any prototypes of these games that ever got out? It would be so cool to see like prototype scripts, like what got changed. That would be so neat. Maybe if I get really rich and famous, I'll just buy Square Enix, and then all that stuff is mine. I'm going to release all of the prototype ROMs. You guys can have them all. But you'll have to vote for me for president of Square Enix. Okay. So that cutscene has now ended. There's a fade to black. The scene opens again. A new scene opens. We're in the king's bedroom. The king is in bed, and the party is surrounding him. The king turns to face Yang and begins to speak. ... Soka. Ai wakatta, Yang-yo. Okay, looks like there's an easy type change in here. Oh, he's like, oh, okay, I understand, Yang. It's like, I see. Like, he's just saying that he's now caught up with the story. Ai wakatta is kind of a interesting use. Okay, I see, Yang. I see ... Yang. This became in Super NES. That's how that became. Oh, really? In J2E. And then naming way goes ... I see. These are all fine. He's basically just not, we don't have to repeat the whole story. I like it when like movies won't just repeat everything that we just saw and talked about. And they did that here. I really like that they did that. I hate to have to like recover all this stuff, especially the translator. Okay. Yanyo, onushi mo doukoshi chikaro kasuga yoi. So he's saying, Yang, you too will accompany them and lend them your help. In kind of like an older king-like way, older kind of our Middle Ages way, I guess you could say. You will accompany them and lend them your help. Literally, in Japanese, you say chikara o kasu, and that means to like lend power, lend strength, but often it'll just mean to help out. Chikara can mean to help. Alright, It becomes Yang, go and help them. Okay, all of the fun of these lines is so missing in a straight translation. Like it's a literal translation, but it's missing so much of the flavor. It's like if you had a replicator from Star Trek make a hamburger, but then they didn't know what the flavor was. It just didn't have a flavor. Okay. Very well, Yang. Accompany them and lend them your power. So this is the lend them your power thing. Like a lot of fan translators, maybe like not fully ready translators will often translate it straight out like that. Lend them your power. Help or assistance would have been a little better. Actually, what is different here? Okay, so the word in the easy type, they took the word accompany, doko. Where is it in here? Accompanying, traveling together. It's kind of a fancy word without the kanji. Unless you know the kanji, it might seem kind of tough. So they changed that to something clearer. Tomo ni yuki. That's tomo ni iku kind of feeling, to go together. Just a different way of saying the same thing. Alright. Go with them. Says naming way. Gang, go with them. All of that is just gone. Oh, that's too bad. Oh my gosh, so that stuff I was telling you about just now about like lending your power, and that's like the super literal way of doing it, but in actuality is closer to lend them help. The old J2E patch had it correct at first, or closer, and then I guess someone like must have come through and did a translation check phase, a translation check pass, and then it was like, oh, I see Chikarda in there, that must mean power. Oh my gosh. Naming way makes it kind of hard. Just go with them. Let's just go with him, don't help them, I guess, but we'll say it's okay. Alright, he's gonna break the window. I gotta prep this here. Alright. The next line the king says is Seshiru dono ni wa kansha no kotoba mo nai. There's not even words to think. There's not even words enough to thank Cecil, Sir Cecil. That's how that goes. Okay, well, then the next part comes Rosa dono made ubawarete shimau to wa ... Okay, so we have words aren't even enough to thank Sir Cecil, and to think that Lady Rosa too would be abducted ... So he's putting those two thoughts into one. All right. So his direct gratitude is kind of missing in the Super NES. It's kind of a third-person gratitude in Super NES, and then there's no mention of Rosa either. So he's very keenly aware of the sacrifices that Cecil and Rosa have both made for Fabul. I'll take off a point on the Super NES because of the Rosa is missing. Okay. J2E. Sir Cecil, I can't find enough words to thank you enough. And Rosa was captured as well. Okay. Everything is in there. Yeah. Looks like there was some editing in there. That's okay. Okay, naming way. This just became, we owe Cecil much. Rosa is missing. So I'll point off on that. Okay. Then he says, Sugu-sama fune o yoi saseo. I will have a ship prepared immediately, at once. And this became, a ship will be arranged soon. That just sounds kind of like red tape bureaucracy phrasing. Like you can do some loophole stuff like I talk about. You could get some loopholes in there, but that's okay. Okay, J2E says, I'll order a ship readied immediately. That's actually closer to the tone and delivery. J2E is pretty good there. Like, it's not a third person. Like, it will be arranged. It will be so. That's not how it is. He's saying more like, I will do so. Like, you got a volitional form in there. A ship will be ranged soon. I won't take off on it though. I'm not gonna be a jerk. I'm not gonna be like, if you're in Japanese, if you're like a really strict teacher or just a strict anything, they'll call you an oni, like an oni sensei, an oni whatever. That's like a devil or a demon. I don't want to be an oni. All right, next line. Cecil dono, kono ken o motte iku ga yoi. So Sir Cecil, take this sword with you. Kind of a cool way of phrasing it too. Let me get this. Super NES has another line that's interesting. It's an addition. Okay, the previous line was, "A ship will be arranged soon. We hope it will help." This "we hope it will help" was not in the original. The "we" here, it would be interesting if this is the royal "we." I don't have really strong feelings that that's the case, that they would be that tuned into English. But it's a weird addition. Okay, I'll just let it slide because it's pretty weird, but it's nice. Okay. So in the Super NES, the sword part, Cecil. I would have liked Sir Cecil or something. Cecil, take this sword. Dark Knight who came to Fabul. Okay, we're not there yet. Take this sword. Cecil, take this sword. Wow. Okay. You can see that Dono is missing the verb gayoi form is missing. There's a couple things missing in the nuances here that are really stand out in Japanese. You're getting like a lackluster version with just that, but I'll say it's okay. Sir Cecil, this is J2E now. Sir Cecil, take this sword with you. Okay, good. Where's J? Naming way. Cecil, take this blade. All one sentence. Okay, that's fine. We got something different in here. We got anything different? I don't want to keep clicking this book. And that was the only thing here. Okay. Alright, take this sword with you. Okay. So the next line by the king, he's talking about the sword now. Kore wa sono mukashi Fabul ni kita ankoku kishin no motteita mono ja. This was carried, or this was wielded by a dark, what do we call that again? A dark knight? A dark knight who came to Fabul long ago. It's kind of interesting, like, I wonder who left it. Was it Golbez back in the day? Who was it? Was it the old king of Baron? It's kind of neat. Some interesting lore. This became Dark Knight who came to Fabul left this long ago. I mean, all the info is in there. It just has that like kind of strange, like non-native writing going on in there. Dark Knight who came to Fabul left this long ago. I'll say it's okay. J2E. This is a sword of a Dark Knight who visited long ago. And why do we have his sword? I guess we'll find out. I'll say that's okay. The long ago is like really important. Naming way. Cecil, take this blade. A Dark Knight left it here long ago. See, I don't know if he left it. He just had it. Like, what if he died? What if he gave it? Like, he gave it as a gift, you know? But I'll say it's okay. Alright, next line by the king. Nani, Fabul no tame tatakatte kureta semete mono no re. Semete mono re. Reida. Oops. Okay. That means, oh, don't worry about it. Like, he's saying that, like, don't worry about, you don't need to refuse it, just take it, kind of, is sort of the implication. Nani. It's thanks for, just consider this thanks for fighting for Fabul's sake. Like, don't worry about it. Just, you fought for Fabul, this is the least we can do. That's the kind of, the whole vibe we're getting here. So it's like it's like a thank you he's giving it to us. Okay, this line is missing in Super NES, so I'll take a point off there. J2E. It's the least I can do to thank you for defending Fabul. Okay, very good. That semetemono. Is that even a single word? Oh well. Alright, okay. The naming way is also missing that line, so I took off a point there. So the king continues, and he's going to issue a warning now. Daga ankoku ken wa shosen kurayami no ken. ... That means, however, the dark sword is just the sword of darkness. It goes without saying that it is the sword of darkness. Okay, that came about in Super NES as, but it is still the arms of the dark side. Okay, that's fine. J2E. ... But it is still a sword of darkness. ... Okay. Okay, so it looks like Naming Way is going to try to combine the whole last 3 sentences into one. So I'm going to have to try to figure this out. Alright, so let me just do this Naming Way part. This last part in Naming Way says, but remember, ... a dark sword will never truly conquer evil, period. And that's the end of that line. In Japanese, that whole line is going to be Daga ankoku ken wa shosen kurayami no ken. Shin no aku ni wa tsuyosen hazu da. Kanarazu ya Golubeza o taoshite kure. Is that Golbez spelled differently? Is that like a mistake? I think there's a typo in here in Japanese. Like Golbez's name looks a little wrong here. Okay. So that means, however, the dark sword is a sword of darkness, ... It will surely not have any effect on true evil, period. Use it to defeat Golbez without fail. Like, please use it to defeat Golbez without fail. Kanarazu ya. Okay. Okay, so Super NES, it will not work against the true evil. It's kind of a weird phrasing again. We're getting, could have just taken out the word the here. In Japanese natives who don't speak English natively, they don't really know how to do a and the very well. It's a common issue. They're getting better with every decade though. Soon my job will be unnecessary. Right. However, it's missing that last line from the king, so Super NES will lose a point. Like where he's asking, like, please defeat Golbez for us, for me. Alright, J2E. But it is still a sword of darkness. It will prove useless against true evil. Please defeat Golbeza. Alright, that's fine. If you're curious about this Golbeza name, this is closer to how it is in Japanese. It's more like an A in there. We've talked about it in the past streams if you're curious. Alright, and then Naming Way. Alright, well first the Golbez line at the end is missing for sure on Naming Way. And all of the other lines got crunched down into, but remember, a dark sword will never truly conquer evil. It's not bad. For what they were trying, that's not bad. I just wish it had been like more in there. Alright. Yay. Alright. So now we have received the item, and the game's narration tells us Desu Bringa o Teni Ireta. So obtained the Deathbringer. Deathbringer is the name of the sword. That's pretty badass sounding. He just happens to have it in his bed, maybe. Okay. In the Super NES, this became Received Black. What does that mean? I don't know. But I guess it makes sense. I guess it'll make sense if we saw it in context. I don't think there's an icon involved, so it's kind of weird. All right, J2E, Received Deathbringer, and it's the full word spelled out. Also, the Super NES, the word death was not really allowed in the games back in the early 90s. Most of the 90s, maybe. So they were avoiding the word death for Super NES. However, like the name just would have been too long anyway, If they had called it the Death Sword, that would have been kind of cool. Yeah, we see Naming Way do that. Received death. Oh no, that's kind of not a good status ailment. You can see. Okay, so what did J2E says got Deathbringer, and that got changed to received Deathbringer. I could pick that apart if I wanted. I don't really feel like it. Okay, so he casually gave us this Death Sword. Alright. So remember that we got this special sword that kills things. It's a Death Sword. Alright, so Fabul King continues. Junbi ga deki shidai. Higashi no sanbashi ni yukareru ga yoi. Fune ga yoi sarete oru hazu. Sometimes it's hard for me to think in these older style dialects. I want to do the modern style. That I was tripped up there. Okay, so he's using some fancy grammar and some fancy words, and all this stuff will kind of get dropped in translation. There is an interesting thing I'll point out in a second, though. Okay, Super NES. Wait, I should probably translate it first, huh? Okay. Junbi ga deki shidai. So as soon as preparations are complete, I guess our preparations, Higashi no sanbashi ni yukareru ga yoi. He's being really polite to us. He's using KEIGO maybe. But he's saying, once you're ready, go to the pier to the east. Fune ga yoi sarete oru hazu. There should be a ship ready by then, probably. Okay, so this became in Super NES, go to the harbor to the east. As soon as you get prepared, you'll find a ship is there for you. Okay, so all this is pretty decently okay. But there's something interesting. Remember I was just saying I wish we could look at like old prototypes? Kind of can. And some of the old, like the old manual for Final Fantasy II Super NES has some screenshots in it. And some of those screenshots are from like the pre-release version. And here's an example. We can see here that go to the harbor to the east is how this came in the final version. But in the, if you look in the instruction booklet, you'll see this line. Let me bring the text back. Okay, right now I have an image on the screen. It's like a scan from the manual. And we can see the king saying, go to the Quay to the east as soon as you get prepared. You'll find a ship for you. So we can see that this got edited before the final version. But the interesting thing is the use of the word Quay, Q-U-A-Y. I would never, ever, ever would have known this word. And so it's clear that at some point, a native English speaker maybe came through and was like, what is that word? We don't know that word. And changed it to harbor. I guess if you live along a coast or in like a watery place, you might know what a quay is. I'm from the deserts of Arizona. We don't really have a whole lot of water. I mean, we have lakes and rivers, but we don't really have big coasts and sea. Our sea power is relatively weak in Arizona. Arizona's red wings are our main force. Okay, so that's just a neat little thing. I would like to be able to look at all the early builds. That would be so fun. Just like, as a translator, this is kind of what I do. Like, what do you think a translator, professional translator for 20 whatever years does in their spare time? I mean, it is look at other people's translations for fun. Like watch movies translated into Japanese. That's so fun to see how the translators did it. It's a very unique, specific hobby. And if you're here watching this or listening to this, then you're probably tuned into that same wavelength as me. All right. So there's Quay. Oh, you could almost make like a chocobo joke out of that maybe if you wanted. All right. So there's that. J2E. As soon as you're ready, walk east to the dock. There should be a ship waiting for you there. As soon as you're ready feels like, I would have said like once you're ready. It's weird, but it doesn't matter. There should be. I like the use of you'll find a ship there. It's kind of closer. Okay. All that's pretty good. Looks like there was a change in J2E and it was just formatting changes, so whatever. Naming way. The king says, oh, I should point out this whole time it's saying King of Fabul, not just King. And Super NES it says King all the time. J2E, King Fabul. And Nameway says king. As long as we're clear from context who it is, it doesn't really matter too much. In this situation anyway. Right. This is Nameway. Go to the harbor to the east once you're ready. The ship's waiting. Alright, so Nameway says the ship is already there, but he didn't even like issue the orders yet. He said he was going to issue the orders, so between like the last 3 sentences, somehow he's issued orders apparently. In actuality, he's saying in Japanese like there should be one ready once you're ready. Like it's not ready yet, but it will be. I won't mark off on that. Alright, the king looks away from Yang, looks at the party, I guess, and says, Subete no kristalu ga yatsu no te ni watareba, sekai wa katsute nai kiki ni sara sareru jaro. Tanonda zo. Alright, so this is all one box. And he's saying, should all of the crystals fall into his hands, Yatsu's, his, sekai wa katsute nai kiki, the world will be plunged, maybe, into a crisis never seen before. And then Tanondazo is like, I'm counting on you, or just, you know, when you ask a favor of someone, and then they go off and do the favor, that's kind of what that is. We're counting on you. Okay, so this became, if Golbez acquires them all. So Yatsu, him, is like, it's just kind of like it's kind of like a rude way of saying he, her, she, him, all that stuff, all those pronouns. But it spells it out in Supernius. I guess that's for the readers. If Golbez acquires them all, the world will face an unprecedented crisis. That's fine, but the final sentence is missing on Supernius. I'll take the point off. Like, he's now equipped us with a boat and a powerful sword. Like, he's prepped us pretty good for this. So now he's sending us on our way with Tanondazo. Alright, it's in your hands now, is kind of the feeling. I leave it to you. Alright, so that's why J2E says, I'm counting on you here. Oh, okay, J2E had some changes here. We'll look at those in a second. Alright. All the crystals are collected. So he really, really wants it to not be in Golbez's hands. He specifically uses the Yatsu. I'm going to take off a point on this. The lore is a little wrong. It's kind of weak, though. Okay. And maybe this is the right call, because it looks like the old J2E patch used to say, if Golbez have managed to get all of the crystals, ... the entire world will be in danger on a scale never seen before. Ooh. That was all really good before. I don't know why they would have, like, wrecked all that when it was already doing so well. I don't know. Sometimes that happens, I guess. Alright. Alright. So, naming way. If Golbez acquires all the crystals, the world will face an unprecedented crisis. Okay, it's okay. It's missing that final sentence, so I'll take a point off there. Yeah, J2E's edits are like inconsistent, and I think this is because it's like such a long project over many years with multiple patches each release. And there's, if you look at the README, there's like, I don't know, 8 people involved with the text. Some are translating, some are editing, some are like overseeing, you know? So just think of a bunch of teenagers back in the 90s doing their online projects, very much like I was a teen back then doing online projects too. So I feel like it's pulling from my own like past in a way. Alright, so there we go. The king now stops talking to us and the party has reassembled. I think if we talk to him again, all that same text. Oh yeah, just go to the east. Okay. Now that we've talked to the king, it's very likely that a lot of text in Fabul will be slightly changed. So we're gonna have to go clean up all that now. But right now I need to talk to this old lady that I have trapped. But it's the same text as before, so it's okay. I was wrong there. Oh yeah, let's put on the Deathbringer, or let's look at it. Let's look at the Deathbringer. Alright, so I'm in the item menu now, looking at the Deathbringer. It's called Desubringa in Japanese, called Black in Super NES. It's called the Death with the sword icon in J2E, but when you look at it in the item menu, it will give the description. The full name will appear as Deathbringer. The description has been added, and it says gift from Fabul, darkness / causes death. And then naming way just says death, also with an icon next to it, but no description on that one. Right, so let's equip that. We're switching it out for the Shadow Blade. When I wash up on shore in Mysidia, that's when I might do the item duplication glitch. I wish I could I don't even know how to do it, how I did it the other day on stream, but hopefully I can do it. Okay, look, we're 20 hours in now, 20 hours, 44 minutes in. The game could be over by now. We're taking our time. All right, let's get out of here. We're gonna check all these people. All right, we saw that before. Saw that before. Okay, saw that before. Luckily, back in these old days, because there was like, the games were still kind of small and compact and you were fighting for data space. It's not one of those games where there's always new text every time something happens. Those games can get real tiring to play and to translate. Alright, so we're in the, we're still in the right tower, and some monks at the bottom now have new lines, and it just says, Minasan okiyotsukete, and that means, take care everyone, be careful everyone. There's kind of a politeness to it. In the Super NES, that became good luck. I would have liked, like they're caring for our well-being in the Japanese, but good luck is just like, good luck out there. I won't mark off though. J2E says, be careful everyone. That's okay. Naming way, good luck. That's the same there. What about the meditating guy? Oh, he's still meditating. Wow, that guy just meditates the whole game. Was he meditating during the whole battle? Alright, now we're going to the left room, left tower. I think the last time I played, these were open because I had like improperly like loaded a save and not used a save state instead. So I don't think they refilled. Alright, now we're on the second floor. This is the infirmary. Let's take a look. The same as last time, as last stream. All looks the same. I would suspect that Yang's wife might have some new text here, because now he's about to go join us. He's about to leave home, so let's see what Yang's wife says. Oh, nope, it's the same. I want to look at her text a little bit here in Japanese. Which, yeah, I want to take a closer look, like actually, like off stream. I want to look at her accent and dialect. It might not be like a specific dialect, but more just like a general one. I'm not convinced it's Kansai necessarily, but it's pulling from a bunch of stuff, possibly. But it's got that fiery spirit that all regular NPCs don't have. Now we're gonna go to the main zone, main area. Well, yeah, these guys have some new text here. Okay, so there's some more monks that we're talking to. Okay, and so here's what they say in Japanese. Fune o dasareru sou desu ga, fune o dasareru sou desu ga, saikin gein fumei no nanpa ga aitsuidemasu. So I hear that you're going to have a boat provided, kind of thing, but lately there have been, like, I don't know, disasters, like disasters of unknown cause have been happening one after the other lately. Okiyotsukete, be careful, take care, or something like that. Nanpa. Well, nanpa can mean to like be a pickup artist trying to like flirt, but that's not what this one is. Nanpa is shipwreck, I guess is what this thing says. Okay, Super NES, this became going out to sea. Please be careful. There have been many shipwrecks recently. Okay, like of unknown origin. This gain fumein is really important. Cause unknown. I would have liked that in there. That's like one of the big words of this that needs to be conveyed. Like, mysterious stuff is going on the sea now. Alright, J2E. For some reason, there have been many shipwrecks recently. Be careful. This for some reason seems to take the place of the Gein Fume, the unknown cause thing, so I'll say that's fine. Yeah, okay. So it looks like we're noticing a bug in the old J2E patch, where these monks got their like lines mixed up depending on the event flags. So I don't know how to explain it, but this was we saw something like this last stream, where this line was accredited or attributed, but whatever, it was hard to explain. Alright, okay, to be careful, okay. Naming way, be going out to sea, be careful, there are many shipwrecks recently. Again, I would like to have the unknown cause. Alright, I think this guy says the same thing, that's fine. Okay, now we're in the throne room, we're talking to the Chamberlain guy, but he's saying the same thing as before. We can now go into the crystal room, and I think it plays the crystal music. I'm gonna get copyright flagged. When Golbez came here, he ruined my YouTube account. Yeah, in some places, like there's a door back here. I think in Mysidia, there's a door back here. Not here though. Yeah, the fact that he's a Dark Knight, but he's a very blue-looking character, that's kind of like the limitations, I guess. You're playing with the sprite limitations back then. The sprites are really little, too. Alright. Oh, nothing new here. We're almost done with this place. Okay, some more monks. Okay. Some new rumors about the sea from some more monks. In Japanese, Funa nori no aida de myo no uwasa ga nagarete imasu. So, among the sailors, a strange rumor is flowing, is how that kind of literally goes. Strange litter flows among the sailors. That becomes, there's a rumor going around the sailors. I would have liked Miona. Miona is like an odd or unusual, strange, unusual. I would have liked that in there. I'm gonna take off a point. I'm taking off a weird point, but it's Miona Pointo. Okay, that became, there's a strange rumor circulating among the sailors in J2E, and yeah, I like this strange, I really like that strange is intact. Naming way, there's a rumor among the sailors. I'm gonna take off the point because I took it off for Super NES. Is that the same line also? Oh, going around became among, okay. The next line is Umigami-sama no ikari ni fureru toka, ... Something about, oh, I need to, okay, so in Japanese, if you translated this would become something about incurring the anger of the sea god, ... Umigami is like, is Umigami in here? I wonder. Nah. Umigami. Gami is god, and Sama is like, you know, a politenizer, for a better word. Alright. Like the deity, it could be like a deity of the sea, it could be a god of the sea. Gods and god talk were not really allowed back then in official Super NES translations, or just anything on Super NES, I guess, so that became something about the ruler of the ocean, ... question mark. So they have the ... in there, and the something about is this toka, so that's kind of neat that I can kind of taste the original from this. But it became the ruler of the ocean instead of Umigami-sama. No, that feels weird. Because when we discover what it is, and then what it actually turns out to be, the ruler of the ocean is a little weak. Okay, some J2E. Something about the master of the ocean, with master and ocean capitalized first letters. Something about the master of the ocean getting angry. That's a little closer. I'm gonna be nice and like re-give super new at that point. Alright. ... Okay, naming way. Something about the Lord of the Seas with a capital L, capital S. Okay. Just know that in Japanese it could be some kind of deity. The sailors or maybe the people of Fabul might have a sea god of some sort. Just know that. As I recall, it happens again in After Years, right? I wonder how that scene plays out. I mostly remember it because Poe had such a crazy voice doing those. I don't think there's anything new in here. Let's look. Okay. Nothing new there. Everyone's healed up. Oh, I can unequip everyone now. I don't need to though. Yeah, I'm not gonna be weird about it. But I'll check this. Oh. Alright. I want to check the item shop one last time. And we'll step outside, a little more outside. Anything new in here? Nope. Alright, now we're stepping outside of the main castle. We're outside of the castle, but we're not outside yet. Alright, so we have some monks guarding kind of the outer part of the castle. And they go, Shiro no mamori wa ware ware ga nantoka katamaemasu. So remember that these guys are not the main force. They're not the main unit. They're like the undertrained, still learning students. And so this nantoka here means like, we'll do it somehow. We'll, in one way or another, we'll like tighten the defenses of the castle. This literally means like the castle's defenses we will somehow tighten or harden. Like they're showing that it's going to be tough, but we're going to do it. Super NES. We will guard here. We will guard here. That's all. Nah, I don't like that. J2E. We'll protect the castle somehow. Okay, that's closer to the original. Naming way. Don't worry, we'll guard the castle. No, it's not showing that they have this like hang up going on. Like it'll be rough, but okay. I think all these guards are gonna say this now. And if that's the case, okay, the same there and the same there. All those lines are the same. All right, so we get to leave Fabul, everyone. Hopefully, I didn't forget something. I'm gonna do a save. Before we step on the ship, I want to take a quick break and go to the bathroom and open the window. So I'll be back in a minute. But I will not leave you guys hanging, so don't worry. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. Every time I reposition myself, I never know if I'm gonna mess up the audio. Hopefully things are okay. Right. I really like all this green, all this blue. This scene here is just so nice, and this music fits it so well. I could probably just sit on this screen for an hour. I won't do that to you guys though. Man, this music is too good for you never really get to hear it all in one shot. Some crazy guy is always talking over it. Alright, so to the east, there is indeed a ship now. It wasn't there before. And this is one of the few times there's actually a normal boat in the game. Let's get on it. I would have liked to have access to the boat for a little bit. Alright, we're gonna step in. Ta-da, we're going into the boat. New scene is gonna start. Alright. Ooh, this music is so good. Alright, so now Cecil, Yang, Rydia, and Gilbert, Edward, are on a dock, and Yang's wife is facing them. We got kind of a scene that's gonna happen here, and this is Yang's wife is now saying "Anta, ki tsukete shikari tatakatte kina." It's got this it definitely has this accent dialect something to it. I can't place it specifically. It might just be a generic dialect accent. That happens a lot. It's very rare to do specific dialects unless you're taking place there. If you're in Kagoshima, you might do, I don't know, whatever the dialect is there. I forget the specific names. But anyway, that kina definitely feels dialectical. And that means, honey, take care and fight good, okay? Kind of how that feels. Because of this dialect, I wonder if this... Okay, yeah, so the easy type did change things out. That first ki tsukete part was just removed. Then they kind of took it and moved it later down into the line, but then took out the weirdness of it, so it becomes ki tsukete ne, but we'll see that in a second. Alright, so Super NES, this becomes, oh yeah, did I translate that? Honey, take care and fight good? Something like that, fight for Shikari. How could we do that? Firmly, tightly, reliably, steadily. Right. Honey, take good care and fight bravely is Super NES. That's good. I like it. Then that becomes in J2E. Dear, be sure to show those bastards how much we like invasions. Nah. J2E going overboard on that. If I had one of those rim shot sounds, I would do that now. I guess I could just use my mouth. Alright. Naming way. Take care, honey. Fight well, period. Wow, all the life is missing. All that fun is missing. Fight well. Yeah. If you translated all that into fight well on the translation test, you'd probably get marked off and get some notes. Right, yeah, who's punching more, J2E or Yang? Okay. So then, in response to his wife, Yang goes umu. It's sort of like an agreement sound. It's not even a full word. In this case, you could sometimes do is uh-huh. In this case, I don't think I would do uh-huh for Yang. I would have to sit and think about what I would do. In Super NES, they go with certainly exclamation. That's fine. J2E. She had just said, be sure to show those bastards how much we like invasions. And Yang says, yes, ma'am. Okay, that's fine. Wait, actually, what was it? Yeah, okay. So the part about be sure to show those bastards how much we like invasions, it was there originally in J2E from the old days. Okay, naming way for Yang says, I will. Period. I would have liked exclamation, but otherwise, I will exclamation would have been really good. Alright, next line. Yang's wife now says, Cecil-san tachi mo shikari ne. So Cecil and the rest of you, stay strong too, or hold it together too, or something like that. And the Super NES, that became the others too. And that's it. But it's fine. It's a weird phrasing. Okay, J2E. All of you, please be careful. I would have liked that. I would have liked this mo. Where's that mo? This mo to also be included in the translation, where it's also or to. It's not important here though. Okay, naming way. You all too. Okay, good. And then Cecil responds with hi, and that means yes. It's a little bit of a. I don't know how to get into the depth of this single word here, but Super NES says yes, madam. There's a polite formalness that he's giving here, and energetic. So yes, madam is fine. Throwing some politeness there. Yes, ma'am became in J2E. That's fine. Cecil says of course, and that's also fine. You can also say right. All right, now the Cecil and the party start to walk onto the boat, but they stop. And Yang's wife is at the edge of the dock, having her final words now. Yang turns to her and says, Dewa, Rusu o Tanomu, and that means, now then, or look after things while I'm gone, or hold down the fort, something kind of feels like that. Alright then, hold down the fort, is how we might say it. Lusu is like absence, being away, so he's saying take care of things while I'm away. In that case, take care of things while I'm away. The Super NES, that becomes just take care. It's not like the be careful, take care. It's more like take care of things while I'm gone, take care. There's a little ambiguity, wiggle room in there, and then anyway, I'll take off a point. J2E says take care of things while I'm gone, and yes, that's the kind of take care that's being invoked here. Okay, and then Yang's wife goes Makashitoki na, and again she's speaking in her spirited way and saying just leave it to me, or like you betcha might be pretty good, or like I got this. Okay, this becomes don't worry in Super NES. It's sad that the life is kind of missing there. Yes, dear, period, and J2E. The life is again kind of missing in there, but I won't mark off. And then naming way also says don't worry. Also, like all of these I could mark off, but I won't. Doesn't. All right, so now the party we're now on like the deck of the ship. Yang's wife is now out of the picture. Cecil turns to the captain and says, the captain says, Anta ga seshiru ka? Katsuyaku wa kiiteru ze. And that means, oh, so you're Cecil? I've heard all about what you've done. And he's speaking in what feels like kind of like I don't know, the way that you would expect someone non-standardly on a boat to speak, maybe. Kiiteru ze. Alright. Super NES, you are Cecil. I've heard of your feat, and feat is F-E-A-T, not F-E-E-T. That's pretty literal, like all of that, like it's a very just straight literal translation. I've heard of your feat, like it's more like I've heard of your exploits, I've heard of all the things you've done. So this could be technically plural, it probably should be plural, but I'll say it's okay. J2E, so you're Cecil, I've heard about you. I would have said I've heard all about you, that would have been better, but it's okay. Yeah, some people might have heard of his feat. Alright, so in naming way, looks like they've done a little bit of some writing punch-up maybe here to kind of fit a sailor speaking. You're Cecil, eh? I've heard all about ye. I remember some of my early translation days, sometimes I would, if any times there was a sailor, I would try to add that kind of flavor in there. I was never convinced that I did a good job with it though. I think it's okay here, but in my case I'm not a good writer. Alright, yeah, and doing accents, if you're not good with the accents or dialects, like, you kind of tell on yourself sometimes. just in writing in general. All right. I heard all about you. So yeah, that's pretty good. I like it all. And then he goes, Nani yukuri shitete kure. Don't worry about it. Just take it easy, or like don't sweat it. Just rest easy kind of feeling. In Supernius, that becomes feel at home on my ship. Period. Again, there's like the life of the line is missing, but it's technically correct. And then J2E, just sit back and relax. Period. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. In the naming way, it just says relax, period. Oh man. Alright, naming way, we'll take off on there. Yeah, double. On second thought, I'll just stick with it, okay. Then the captain goes, Baro nanza attoyuma ni tsuichima wa. He's very, very dialecty. Very like non-standard. He's saying, reaching Baron, we'll reach Baron in like the blink of an eye or no time flat kind of feeling. Just give it a non-standard flair and you probably are okay. So let's see. Well, it'll take us no time to reach Old Baron. I don't know. I'm gonna get back to it. Supernia says it won't take long to reach Baron. J2E, we'll be at Baron before you know it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Naming way, we'll be in Baron before you know it. Period. Again, the life is missing, but I'll accept it. Then there's one more line. It looks like, Yosh sasoku shukko da. That's saying, all right, it's time to get going. It's time to set sail. It's time to head out. Shukko is like when leaving, and then like port, leaving port. So it comes out as departure or clearance of a ship, or departure or sailing. Yeah, you could go either way. So all of that. So at this point, he's talking to his crew. Yo, sasoku shukko da. And now let's get going. It says in Supernius. And the J2E, it's clear he's talking to his crew by saying, all right, cast off, mates. That's pretty good. In naming way, the life is again sucked out, and it just says, let's sail. They're all fine. All right, the crew continues further up onto the deck. Ying's wife is watching from a, what was that? Just a bridge? What do we call those? Alright, so now the captain is ready to get going, and he shouts, Yaro domo, ikari o agero. And Yaro domo is a way of, it sounds rude at first glance, and it is. It's not a thing you want to say normally, but it's kind of just like what you call your crew when you're about to give them an order. And if you're already like kind of a crass captain, this fits perfectly. Yaro domo, so you could just say like men, regardless of gender, men. Like men, raise the anchor. You could put other words in there for Yardo Domo. If you wanted him to be rude, you could make him like ye dogs or something, I guess. But for the most part, just men fits pretty well. It's got that rudeness. All right. This just becomes raise the anchor. That's fine. Raise the anchor. All right. That was Supernius. J2E, captain, instead of saying raise the anchor, the captain now shouts, we'll thank those bastards for attacking our homes. So that's definitely wrong. That's a complete change. Someone edited that in there on J2E. But it was always that way from the beginning of J2E. J2E's patches. Alright. This became, in naming way, anchors away. I always forget if that's proper. Away? Anchors away? Is that when you drop it? Or what is it when you pull it up? I can't remember off the top of my head. When I worked on One Piece, I knew all this stuff, but it's been a long time now. Man, One Piece was so much fun. It was almost like there were so many translators. Like I was kind of like the lead translator for a long time, and a lot of people joined on, and we all kind of like did our own things. And it kind of did feel like all of us together were a crew, and we were on the Grand Line together. And all of our like sections of the story were like the scattered islands. And especially for like DVD releases, it was my job to kind of put everyone's styles all into one more, I don't know, like singular voice for the DVDs. And so that a lot of my work here, when I'm looking at all these different translations and comparing them and stuff, a lot of that was just, it was my job. This was used to be my job, looking at other people's translations and weighing them with each other. All right, let me get back on track here. Okay, anchors away. We'll assume that's correct. And now the sailors shout Yahoo! And that's like just a happy sound. Yahoo! Like a happy agreement sound, I guess. I don't really know how to convey that. In Super NES, this became Hoy. Or I guess if you speak Spanish, it becomes Oi. I guess that's just how they say it in Super NES. I Captain is how they say it in J2E. And I Captain in naming way. Alright. Now they're gonna do their weird little dance. Like they do this, these sailors do a weird little dance whenever they're like working on the ship because they can't really show them working on the ship. And I found that so endearing back in the day. This whole game, a lot of these old games, they're kind of like little digital puppet plays. And it's so fun to just watch it. Having these guys like dance and spin around means so much more to me than like seeing fully 3D rendered models with perfect lighting and glistening rain and all that. I just love the sprites and the creativity behind it all. Alright. Alright, we're about to set out. Alright, the boat is going very quickly across the ocean. We're leaving the continent. We're going in straight lines, very, very straight lines. We're going very much like the way I would do it. No diagonals in this game. Alright, we're going way south now. Okay, now we're back on the ship. There's a cutscene and Yang looks at radio. We're at the stern of the ship. Right? Oh man, I'm missing all my boat terms after all these years. When I used to work on so many boat shows. What was another show I worked on? Last Exile stuff? Like I worked on Last Exile kinda, but then I translated all of the sequel too. Okay. So Baron says, De, Bardo ni tsuitara do sareru otsumori de. So he's being quite polite here. And he's saying, so, when we arrive in Baron, what do you intend to do? I don't think he's speaking to radio, but I guess it's just showing that he's speaking to someone. So in Super NES, this becomes, what would you do after we arrive at Baron? And actually this does feel like the tone is quite good to what the Japanese tone is. What would you do? J2E. So, what do you intend to do once you reach Baron? Okay, so the arrival of Baron, the people who are arriving at Baron. Okay, so someone in the chat did a first time chat, and they said, looking into it, it seems anchors away is a response confirmation to the order to raise anchor, and weigh anchor is the order to raise the anchor. Okay, so it's kind of backwards, possibly? Yeah, boats are complicated. Alright. Yeah, and then you got the starboard and port stuff. I know that stuff better in Japanese. It's so weird. Yeah, okay. So in the Super NES it says after we arrive at Baron. And then in the J2E it focuses on once you reach Baron. There's a nuance difference here and I don't know how to parse it. It doesn't really matter, but I would have liked, totally if I could ask the writers, like, what is your intent here? Which one of these two is closer to what you intended? There's a lot of times where you just have to ask the writers, and that was always really hard. It was really hard to get access to writers and things like that. And usually you would just get like an in-between, a mediator. Alright. Naming way. What's the plan after we reach Baron? Okay, these are all okay. Yeah, which one is to drop anchor, I wonder? Anchors... I can't remember. I haven't been out to sea in so long. Right. So Cecil turns around and now responds with quite a plan. First he says, Mazu hikute gishi no shido ni ao. First, let us meet the airship engineer Sid. Okay. So that first is in there. Like he has a plan. First we'll do this, then we'll do this. This is how it's going to be. In Super NES, this became, let's find Sid, the master engineer. It's a little weird, but it'll make sense. It'll make sense in a second. Alright, J2E says, let's first meet the airship engineer Sid. Okay, so this gets all the details proper. Airship engineers in capitals, capitalized. What do we call that in programmers? Like where it's just the first letter is cased? I forget. And naming way says, let's find Sid. Okay, let me continue to the next line. Looks like naming way is condensing a lot. Mazu hikute gishi no shido ni ao. Here's the next part. Kare nara hikute ni seitsu shiteru shi, chikara ni natte kureru hazu da. Him, if anyone, is like completely knowledgeable, very knowledgeable about airships, and he will certainly lend us his help. He will give us his help for sure. Seitsu, I want to get Seitsu is like acquainted, having knowledge, being expert, being versed in, conversant. Seitsu. So he's like he's like super knowledgeable. This became, let's find Sid, the master engineer. He's the expert of the airships. He'll help us. Okay, so this all is in there. I like that. J2E. Let's first meet the airship engineer Sid. He develops the airships for Baron. He should be able to help us. I would have liked that Seitsu to be in there. Like he's super knowledgeable about it. Not just that he develops them. I'll let it pass. Naming way. This squishes everything down to, let's find Sid. He's an airship expert. And then the part, yeah, the sentence about him certainly helping us for sure. Like he'll definitely help us out. I would have liked that in there. It was like half of a sentence was cut out of the naming way. Okay. So the next line in response is from Yang, and Yang says, Sono gojin ga buji da to yoi ga. He's using like a fancy word here to refer to Sid, and he's saying, I hope that this person is safe or well or unharmed. I hope this person is, I hope that gentleman is well. But the implication is more like, let's hope that he's okay. Let's just hope that this guy is okay. Well, yeah, this part changed in easy type. Gojin became Okata. Instead of Okata, again, is like a fancy, nice way polite way of saying person. So I hope that this gentleman, this kind person, is okay though. Let's just hope that he's okay though. Alright. So that politeness is completely missing in the Super NES, and it just says, hope he's okay, which is the point of the line, so I'll say that. But Yang's being polite to a person he's never met. He's using fancy words that need to get changed in easy type, and even in easy type, it's very polite in regards to Sid. J2E, again, the part about the politeness on Yang's part just becomes, I hope he's safe, period. I would have liked more in there, it's too bad. And then, naming way, I hope he's okay. Again, I would have liked that. So I could have totally just be marking off points left and right. I'd be doing that to all of them though, so it kind of doesn't even matter. Alright. And then to this, Gilbert just says ... And as we'll understand later, that he seems to be having a weird premonition or feeling about something. Edward is. Those are all conveyed in all translations. Whenever that happens, we have to do that, right? Alright, so Edward now looks down and sad. Radio walks over to him, faces him, and says, Samui no Urueteru yo. Are you cold? You're shaking. Like she sees that he is cold. And if you're learning Japanese, she sees that he's cold, and that's where this no comes from. It's like you're filling in the blanks of the context. You see that he's cold. There must be a reason that he's cold, so you say samui no. Okay, and then you're cold? You're shaking. You're trembling, something like that. Supernius, are you cold? You are shivering. That's fine. J2E, are you cold? You're shivering. That's fine. Naming way, are you cold? You're shivering. Those are all the same except for like the contraction. Alright. J2E just had formatting changes there. To this, Gilbert says, yeah, nandemo nine da. ... That means no, it's nothing. No, it's nothing at all. ... So, Super NES. No, it's nothing. ... J2E. No, it's nothing. ... Naming way. I'm fine. ... I would have liked the no. There's two negatives in this sentence in Japanese. When he just says I'm fine, it gives off a different vibe to me. I'll allow it. But I mean, yeah. There's stuff hiding in that sentence in Japanese. Alright, so now we're back. We're sailing through some islands. We're going west. Baron is down to the west, so we're on our way. But oops, we have to go south all of a sudden for some reason. Probably just because of where Baron is. Now we're going west again. Oh, we're back. We're back on the ship. Uh-oh. You're shaking. The screen is shaking. The boat is shaking. Cecil goes, Nanda. And it's like, what the? Or like, what? What's that? What? Or sometimes you could just say, huh? Super NES? What? J2E? What the? ... question mark? Naming way. What's that? We now... Okay, so this is now a timed scene, so I have to pause it. But we're back outside. We see the world map. It's just the ocean, and there's a boat. In front of the boat is a large whirlpool with a weird thing coming out of the center of it now. It's slowly coming out. And we're very close to the whirlpool. Like a tail or something is coming out of the whirlpool. Back on the boat. The shaking continues. A sailor says, Masaka. And again, Masaka is like, it can't be. Impossible. How does this thing translate it? By no means. Never. Well, I never. You don't say. A bunch of these don't fit really good in this case. And also, normally you won't write this in kanji, even though this thing shows it in kanji. Right. So I would just be like, it can't be, or like, no way. Or like, how is this possible? Just sort of that vibe. Masaka can be translated so many ways. Oh, alright. So this Masaka, as we see, is going to be like, because of those rumors that we were hearing earlier among the sailors. Those sailors are now responding based on those rumors to like, no, it can't be. Is it really this? Alright. Another sailor steps forward and says, Honto ni ita no ka? So it really exists. Or you could say, so it's real. It really is real. How that feels. Supernia says, is that true? Exclamation. And this is absolutely a non-native English-Japanese speaker writing this. Without a doubt. So I'm going to put this in, mark a point off on that. We can see what it's trying to do. Is that true? Honto means like true or really. And ita means like exists, kind of. Okay. J2E says, he exists. What would like really? I would like the word really in there. He really exists. Like they just said Masaka. So the next logical step is it's real. Okay, naming way says it's him. Well, first I guess that's giving it a gender. I guess that makes sense since we'll know later. Okay, it's all fine. I mean, he exists and it's him. We're okay. Another sailor pops up. And he finishes the thought by naming what it is that really exists. O Unabara no Nushi, the master of the great seas, I guess. How does O Unabara? It's kind of the master of the ocean, the master of the great deep, is how that comes about. O Unabara is such a neat word. and Nushi is like a master or head or owner, or just like a long-term resident that is in charge of the place. All right, so in Super NES, that becomes the Master of the Seas. Oh, I should have looked at what they were calling the monster earlier. I wonder if they were consistent across their respective translations. J2E, the Master of the Ocean. Okay. Naming way. The Lord of the Seas. Okay. The sailor that was like at the very front of the ship doing the Titanic scene is now saying, steps back and says Aitsu ga ... Aitsu could mean he, she, or it. Here it is Super NES, it becomes that's ... J2E, he's ... And naming way, it's ... So you can see how everyone, all of these lines, they're not technically wrong. All of these all work, and they're all describing the same game, the same scene, the same character, the same monster. They're using different words, and that's how translation is in general. Translations are descriptions of the source, and if you really want to taste the source, you're going to have to go to it yourself and not rely on the translation. So just understand that translations are descriptions. And whether or not like some are closer descriptions than others, that's what we're looking at in the stream series. Okay, so the captain now steps up. He gets to say the fancy good word, Leviathan. So it's Leviathan. So the first sailor was setting up the sentence, that or it's or he's, and then the captain finishes, Leviathan. And then famously in the Super NES translation, this becomes Leviathan. And that's because I think later in the game we get to fight it, and its name is limited in the text box, and so they abbreviated it later in the game as Leviathan. And I guess to stay consistent, they spell it the same way here. It would have been perfectly fine for them to put the H here. Oh, yeah, okay, this is a good time to bring up this point. But let me do this first. Okay, so Leviathan, everyone says. But Leviathan and Super NES. I'll take off a point. Hopefully I didn't already just do that. But I want to show you guys this. I was going to bring this up later. I have to go over here. Actually, let me just bring it in here. I'm going to bring in this. Add existing. Oh no, I don't know which one it is. Oh, no, not that one. Alright, let me go over here. Alright. Let me turn off that slideshow. Very quickly, I gotta show you guys this. In Japanese, TH sounds that are in English, we have a couple of them. When you see the letters TH in English, we kind of think it's one sound, but it's actually multiple sounds. So you have like the word the, but then you also have the word thin, word this, then. Like the TH sound kind of goes in multiple directions. The Japanese language does not have a TH sound, so they have to compensate for it. And they'll often use S's, Z's, sometimes SH's, if it fits the situation. And so this is why, oh, okay, so on the screen right now, oh wait, I can take that off. Okay, on the screen, we're looking at one of the most famous cases of this TH to S sound. And in the original Final Fantasy VII, the flower girl was named Aeris, A-E-R-I-S. And then, famously, her character name was changed later officially to Aerith, A-E-R-I-T-H. And now that's what she's known as. In this case, I think the name was changed because they wanted to kind of, her theme in Final Fantasy VII is she's of the earth. And she's a life stream and all that. And then when she dies, she returns to it. So I think that's why they were like, they want that TH in there. I grew up with Aeris, or I wouldn't say grew up, I was already in college by now. But it's still weird for me to see Aerith, and that's that, what did I call that? I have a word for that I invented. Not impression, imprinting, like I'm imprinted on Aeris. I'm not against Aerith, it's just like I prefer Aeris. So anyway, this TH thing is why Leviathan in Japanese is Libaya-san. It's a san, S-A-N. So it's kind of neat that they actually kind of knew that it was supposed to be Leviathan and for the Super NES, and they have it Leviathan. They could have messed up and just had an S in there. Alright, let me make this big so I can get back to this. Now, that's our quick Final Fantasy VII detour of the day. Okay, so now we're back outside. We're seeing a giant sea monster come out of the whirlpool. Ah, crap, it's like 7 times larger than our ship. And now the sailors are just freaking out, and they're freaking out just by spinning around. I love it. It's so good. And the captain, like, wants to get their act together. And goes, Temeda, oro sunjane, nantoka yarisugo-san kai. Very, very dripping with speech patterns, but saying, how would we do oro? Quit you guys quit being shook up. Get through it somehow. Can't you guys get through it somehow? Or like weather it somehow, endure it somehow. Yardi Sugosu is to like get through something. Okay, Super NES, it just says stop it. So all the characterization of this guy's line in Japanese, you can see it. You probably heard it from my delivery a little bit. I'm a terrible actor, but you might have heard it. It just became stop it in Super NES. And it's missing a lot there, so I took off the point just now. J2E, as we've seen, they like to punch up the captain and the pirate talk, because that's one of the dialects that we have in English that's easily available to us. So it just feels like a natural fit. So in J2E, he goes, "You scurvy dogs." That's fine for Temeda. I would. Temeda is weirdly formatted. Okay. "You scurvy dogs, stop screaming like women and do something." That "do something" is in all caps. I don't think this is actually what he's saying. He's saying, like, just get through this, like, weather it, don't get us through this. He's not saying do something. Like, just get through it. I don't know. But I will take off the point for the stop screaming like women. I mean, I guess so. Oro sunjane. It feels like, it doesn't feel, I'm not getting the same vibe. I'll took off a point there. Naming way. Don't stand about, ye witless dogs. Reef the sails. So it's specifically saying what to do now. He's giving them like a direct like navigation order. He's not doing that in the original, so naming way, I'll take off a point. Don't stand about, you witless dogs is a really nice punch up of what's going on in the Japanese text there. I almost want to give it a point, maybe. Yeah, okay, so it kind of like counters itself there. It lost a point but gained a point. Alright, Captain looks around, but then the sailors just start freaking out again. Uh-oh, I better pause it. Okay, the sailors were freaking out and spinning around, and suddenly the boat gets rocked really hard. Everyone gets flown up in the air, and Rydia gets flown so high that she falls overboard. And she shouts, "Kya!" And that's a shriek or an eek sound. It's not a word, it's a cry. And then we see, I hope this isn't timed. Okay, sometimes these scenes are timed and they'll skip past me, but it's not timed here. So she goes, "Kya!" in Japanese. In Super NES, this becomes help. And she's not saying an actual word there, so I took off a point. J2E, she says, "Kya!" I would have liked this to actually be translated into some way. We don't really have "kya" in English, and then the few times I would use it among friends in my, like, just, I don't know, sometimes I would fan sub things for friends, and I would leave it that way maybe, I don't know, and they would be like, "What is that?" Well, for not translating that, I'm gonna take that off. Naming when he goes, "Ah," or at least she's screaming, which is good. Alright, I'm gonna give J2E the point back. I'm gonna be nice. Rydia just fell over, I'm gonna be nice. Alright, Yang and Cecil are now like very quick. And Yang shouts, "Rydia," and that means Rydia. All good on all versions. Yang jumps into the water after her. Whoa. Cecil then shouts, Lydia, Yang. Lydia, Yang. And Super NES, Lydia, Yang, and J2E. Naming Way, no. Okay, Naming Way will lose that point. Yeah, everywhere the Dark Knight goes, bad shows. Alright. There's more shaking and crazy stuff's going on. Everyone's thrown around. Gilbert is thrown onto the deck and goes, ooh-ah. Yet again, he goes, ooh-ah. So there's another of his lines. And you can see why Japanese fans point out his repeated use of this phrase. And then, because it's the same line that is same 1 zeros, again, in Super NES it says no. And J2E, ooh-ah. And Naming Way, ag. I've already gave away points on this. Super NES, you lose a point. Alright, Cecil walks up and shouts, Girubato. And that means Gilbert. And he's named Edward in the Super NES, so he shouts Edward. And then he shouts Gilbert and J2E, and Edward and Naming Way. So, I don't know what is Naming Way going for these days, is at this point. Is it trying to stay true to the Japanese? Or is it his name always Edward? In future English versions? Did he ever become Gilbert officially in English versions? Or is he always just stuck as Edward? Is he a legacy name? Is what I guess what I'm asking. It's weird. I can't understand what J2E and Naming Way, they kind of do their own weird things sometimes. So he's always been called Edward in English? Okay. So if it's backporting possibly, then that's fine. I won't take off points. As long as it's consistent. Okay. The boat started shaking more, and then the scene takes us back out. And we're looking at the boat and the sea monster, and slowly the boat is being pulled into the sea monster's whirlpool. Being slowly pulled in. Oh. And then the game fades out to black. And we hear waves crashing. Cecil appears to be on a beach. It looks like he was unconscious for a while. We can hear waves in the background, and Cecil goes ... And that is ... in Super NES, J2E, and Naming Way. Then I'm going to hit a button again. Cecil now says in Japanese. Like it's not even a word, just a sound In the Super NES, that became ... UH. Which is pretty weird. I don't know. Maybe like URGH could have worked better, but the sound isn't there. Like when you say and then he's gonna say in a second, it sounds like he's like getting his words ready. I always say too much on these streams, for example. Okay. Let's see. There's a second. Looks like J2E adds a lot of ... dots in here. So I'm just going to say the whole scene here. So the scene begins with Cecil going ... Then the next window he goes ... Then the next line next window he goes ... So he's groaning. He's just doing his groaning. Super NES, that becomes ... I feel so weird. I'm going to take off on Super NES. J2E ... new window ... new window ... like an extra dot, new window ... Then we get to his moaning. So they actually added in those extra dots. I don't know why they would have done that, but there was this change here. Weird. I don't know what to make of this change in J2E. I won't take off points because this is kind of dumb if I did. Naming Way says ... ugh ... And I don't know how those are broken apart into windows. Anyway, this delivery is weird. This whole scene is kind of weird. It's not super important, so I'm just going to skip it now. Alright, some mosaic filtery things happen. Cecil gets up. He looks around. He says, Kokowa? And literally this means, here is ? But it's pretty common just to translate that as, where am I? And we can see all translations say, where am I? Koko wa? Where is here? Literally. Like, you don't want to say where is here. We don't say that really in English unless it's like a comedy routine or you're a baby. Where is here? Literally you say, where am I? Cecil takes a step, looks to his side and shouts, Didia, and that means Rydia. He's shouting for his friends. Again, he's had a disaster and been separated from his friends, and he's all alone. This is the fate of the Dark Knight, perhaps. Okay, he walks further down and shouts, Gilbert, or Kirubato, and that is Gilbert's name, Edward's name, shouting for him. He walks a little further, and then he shouts, Yang. That means Yang. He looks sad and down at his feet, and he says, Hitori, ... ka. All alone, ... huh? Or like, all alone, ... I guess, period. Something like that. There's like the hesitation in there. It's like, oh, I'm alone. So Super NES, that comes out as guess I'm ... alone. That's fine. J2E, ... I'm alone, ... This ka is like his realization, and the guess I'm is the realization in Super NES. I would have liked more in the J2E. I won't mark it off though. Naming way, guess I'm ... alone. You can see they took off the space from the Super NES version. There was a space there. I wonder if they're fighting for space, ironically, that badly. Alright, so we're now taken back to the world map, and Cecil gets to walk around in this new place. We got washed ashore. We're all alone. As we look at the menu screen, we are indeed alone. That's how you know you're alone. Look at your own personal menu screen. Alright. So I'm going to save it here first. Important to save it here. Do a save state here too. I don't want to have to redo all of that. Good. Yeah, check yourself. Alright, so it's kind of neat. This is like one of the weird points in the game where you can walk around on the map with this non-world map music happening. This is like the sad music. Alright, so something iconic now happens. Oh, there's a town up ahead. We can see this town up ahead. Are we going to get attacked before the town? No, but we're going to get attacked first, because that is how I'm going to make it happen. I'm walking around. We got into a fight. I want to run away. We're just fighting some enemies we've already fought. Sword rats, goblins, and mini magicians. But there's a new enemy I want to fight here. Oh, we're fighting some domovoys and goblins. I don't care about those. Alright, we got a new enemy here. This is an iconic enemy. Most people, if you played through the game back in the day, you probably remember this enemy. Not because it's like, maybe it is kind of cool looking, but for what happens. Alright, so in Japanese, this big, like raven, like this gigantic bird, snaky looking monster thing. I don't know what to call it. It's just called a zoo. Z-U-U is how you would call it. In naming way, or I mean easy type, this became Heru Kondoru. Heru Kondoru. That means hell condor. That's pretty cool. I don't know where zoo came from originally. Is it like pulling from some sort of mythology in the world? That zoo is so iconic. To call it a hell condor, there must be a reason, right? Alright, so anyway, this enemy is called Zoo. It became Raven in Super NES. And then Zoo, Z-U-U in J2E, and Z-U in naming way. I really like to save that space in naming way. I don't even think it will like matter. They could have just done it anyway. So let's see. I had a thought for this, but oh yeah, one of our cats is named Zool. Technically Zool, like from Ghostbusters, but we always call her Zoolie. Makes me think of this. She probably just heard me. Alright, so what happens is when a Cecil now has the Deathbringer sword, if you remember, the Deathbringer. And the cool thing about the Deathbringer sword is that it will inflict instant death on enemies if it is, I don't know, if you're lucky. And so a lot of people, they'll fight this zoo as soon as they wash up, and it will say this. In Japanese, it says Sento funo ni ochiita. And that means you fell into unable to perform combat state. Sento funo. Sento is combat, like what we're in now. We're in a battle, like actual like hand-to-hand battle is a sento. And funo is like unable to. So unable to combat is the name of this state. It's often just translated as KO in English because it's kind of a clunky word to try to translate fully. Unable to fight state is how it kind of translates. It's such a clunky word. And ochiita means to fall into that state. So fell into an unable to combat state. It's pretty clunky translated. Super NES, this became swoon! Exclamation. Swoon. That was probably one of the first times that I encountered the word used in this way. It's pretty weird though. It's like a non-standard way of using the word swoon. A lot of times it means like get people head over heels with you or something. But it can mean other things in English too. And I guess in this case it just means like, yo, you took it out. Is it now head over heels for us? Is it in love with us? But nah, it's just gonna die in one hit is basically. J2E just says defeated. And naming way says KO'd, and KO'd is what I would say because it's like Sento Funo is what happens in these games when you run out of HP. You don't die, you don't get defeated, you become unable to fight. Technically in Japanese. So this is your quick little lecture on Sento Funo. A lot of times they'll just come out as KO. It's really nice to just have two letters like that. And indeed, it dies in one hit. So there's a thought in the chat saying that it feels like a zoo could be a Dungeons and Dragons thing. And apparently Dungeons and Dragons does straight up just have Anzu. So maybe it's pulling from Dungeons and Dragons. It's pretty common for the Final Fantasy games. Got mind flayers and stuff even. Okay. Got experience. Oh yeah, I want to do my trick now. Let me see if I can do it. I can never get it to work quite right, so I apologize if this takes a second. If I don't get this to work right now, I'll do it later. I want to do my item duplication trick right now. Okay, I'm gonna get in a fight. I need to call up Square Enix and tell them I want to get into a fight now. I'm just walking around with good RNG. Okay, good. They got my call. The prayer reached them. Alright, let me try my trick. Alright, now we're gonna go into town. Well, actually. Okay, we can see he has something weird going on up here. When I do that, I don't know what happens. Don't know what's going on. I don't know if I can sell. I might be able to sell that spot. Okay, and we're now in the town of Mysidia, the village of Mysidia. But my focus is to go sell this thing for money. I'm gonna go do that real quick. And then we'll go around and talk to everyone. Can I do it? No, it doesn't work. Okay. In that case, I'll just do this. Okay, aha, it kind of worked. Now I have a crazy amount of Deathbringers in my inventory. Let's sell it. If I sell them individually for 1,000, it's going to take forever. So let's do this trick. All right, 90,000 gil for 90 at a time. I think technically I have like 200 something. All right, so I got a good amount of money just doing that. It'll be good for a while. I don't want to have to really farm things. Oh, I can do this too. Does it work on the shield too? Well, I have an extra demon shield, I'll just sell that. For 200? My demon shield was only 200 GP. Gil. Alright, let me go out and save. And then we'll begin Mysidia. So remember what I was saying just a minute ago about THs in Japanese? and they'll become S's, Z's, or SH's often. Sometimes ZH's, but not really. So Mysidia's name is kind of interesting. Well, first, Mysidia's music is just really, really good. I'm going to let you guys hear it. We can see that this place is called Mysidia. There's a SH in there, Mysidia, technically. In Super NES, it calls it Mysidia. J2E, it calls it Mysidia. And Naming Way calls it Mysidia. Mysidia has appeared previously in other Final Fantasy games. And as I recall, it's also a magic village in those cases. It might just be one game, I don't remember. But Mysidia, calling it Mysidia is fine, and all the official materials call it Mysidia, from what I can tell. But because of that TH stuff I was telling you about, there is a chance maybe that the SH is a TH, in which case it becomes Mythidia. And since myth is an important part of this town, the Elder knows this really important myth, and this myth is important to the entire game, and it gets revisited multiple times. We even get a sword that has a myth, the text of a myth written on it. When I say that TH sound, I wonder if it's getting through. That myth. So there's like a slight chance that Mythidia is implied. I don't know if it was intended, but it might just be also a coincidence. What is it? I don't know. But the legacy term is now Mysidia, and it will probably always be that. At the very least, allow this to be trivia for you. What it should be, I don't know. I would have loved to have talked to the actual writer, and I would have liked to have talked to them at the time of the writing, and not 20, 30 years later when they're not the same person. They're not standing in the same river as they were back then. All right, so we're talking to a white wizard in the front, near the front of Mysidia. It's kind of a long line. I gotta get a drink of water. Alright, so this wizard's talking about that magical path that connected Mysidia and Baron. We saw it earlier in the game. The wizard now says, Debiru Rodo Towa Jigen no Michi. So the Devil Road is a dimensional path. And it's called the Devil Road for a reason, as we'll understand. And as we saw before, they changed this in Super NES because the word devil would have hit Nintendo of America's guidelines against gods and devils and all that stuff. So they changed it to Serpent Road. So Devil Road became Serpent Road in Super NES. Okay, I'm gonna have to read this whole line because all the translations are kind of weird here. Debiru Rodo towa jigen no michi. Koko o toru ni wa kanari no seimei ryoku ga gisei to sareru tame. Akuma no michi Debiru Rodo to nazukirarimashita. That means the Devil Road is a dimensional pathway. To go through it, it will a lot of vitality will be sacrificed, or a lot of vitality will be needed. So it was named the Devil Road, the Akuma no Michi. So this is a case where it's an English word, debiru, devil, and dodo is road. Because those are English words, they define it in Japanese for Japanese speakers also, just to be sure. So they use the Japanese words now, Akuma no Michi. And something like this is where you can get redundancies. If we had just translated it out, it would have been kind of weird because we would have the word Devil Road in there twice. We call it the Devil Road because it's the Devil Road. That redundancy will appear. And we already know English, so we don't need to explain in Japanese. And if you look at that PDF I have on my site, or if you look in the YouTube comments, I'll have a link to it. There's a PDF in there, and it explains what it is to be a localizer or a translator, and all the weird traps and tricks and things that you have to watch out for. And redundancy like this, when you're defining a foreign word, a foreign named word, into your native language, you'll get redundancies. And that's why we'll start to see that happening over in the translations here. Those redundancies will be reduced. Alright, all of that in Super NES became, the Serpent Road was named because it drains much stamina from travelers. The part well, first there's 2 sentences in Japanese, but the part that is a dimensional pathway is pretty cool to know. Like, what is that crazy thing down there? What is it? Is it just like a big cave? What is it? No, it's a dimensional GN dimension, and Michi is path or road. So I would have liked that in the Super NES. That's a detail that's lost. J2E. The Devil Road is a mysterious dimensional road. Traveling this road drains a lot of vital energy, hence its name. Vital energy, like vitality would have been better. Vital energy means maybe like essential energy, but it's okay. But it gets the dimensional road in there. It adds the word mysterious in there for no reason, but that's okay. Like, you would think that they understand, like these wizards who probably developed it would probably understand how it works. Incidentally, the one thing I really do like about the after years is that we see what the Devil Road is after all. It's like this crazy warp filled dungeon, and it really does like drain you to get through it. I thought that was really cool. Okay, naming way. The Devil's Road is so named because it saps the stamina of its travelers. So the part about, like, the first sentence is kind of missing about the dimensional pathway. I would have liked that. Let's continue. Oh wait, the nice thing, this is what I was talking about many streams ago. Story scenes are very taxing. They're like the mental load for me to do them, to go through them. It will take me hours to go through a scene on stream here. But NPCs, they're so one-wayed and they're like 1 or 2 sentences. It's so nice. It's like a snack. I get the snack. Alright. This is the line that appears at the very, very start of every stream. If you look at the screenshot that like bounces around, this is it. Okay, so we're talking to a black wizard, and remember, Cecil is in his Dark Knight armor, and he was the guy who came and led the Baron's army to steal the crystal from Mysidia in the first place. And if you recall, we stole the crystal, we beat up and or possibly killed many of the wizards here. We definitely imprisoned some. We had conflicting information about what actually happened here, but we definitely had prisoners in Baron that came from here. So everyone here hates Cecil very badly. Like, this is like the #1 guy. Like, we are the Golbez of Mysidia. To Mysidia, we are Golbez basically. So everyone hates us. And this black wizard says, "Oh my, ano toki no." He's like, you're from that time, is literally how that goes. But it's like, you're that one. Or it's you from that. And then he goes, koshite yaru. And that isn't really a word in Japanese. It's more like a phrase that you say before you like do an exertion. Like, usually it's like a bad, usually something bad follows when you shout like that. Someone does. I'm not even doing it right. I'm not a native speaker. I need a native Japanese voice actor in here. I'm gonna absorb the soul of one in a future stream. Right. He says, he's saying, it's you. I'm gonna do this to you. Or like, I'm gonna do this to you, or something like that. I'm gonna do this to you. Very rudely. He's very rude. Super NES, that becomes you. ... I'm avenging my friend. It's not actually what's happening, but it feels like this is a reinflation that has happened. What he's about to do is he's going to do a spell on us to transform us. He doesn't say I'm avenging my friend, avenging my vend. He doesn't say I'm avenging my friend technically in Japanese, but ano toki no is an unfinished sentence referring to the beginning of the game, and this is reinflating all of that so that we have that foothold. We're like, oh yeah, we messed up bad here. Okay, J2E says, you son of a bitch, you're that damn Dark Knight, take this. Yeah, koshite yaru is like, we would probably say take this, take this. Yeah, so the you son of a bitch was added into the newer J2E. It wasn't there to begin with. It doesn't need to be there either. I mean, it's really rude. It's the proper rudeness. It's just like, what if it's just like, you're that damn Dark Knight. Damned is fine here. It's very good. And Dark Knight isn't even technically in there either, but You son of a bitch. Alright. It could go either way. I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let this swear slip. Alright, I think Poe has arrived. Naming way says, you ... take this. Take this. Yeah, the connection to the past is a lot less clear. Like if you had rented a game and this was the save file, and you didn't play the beginning of the game, you wouldn't understand that this was referencing the past technically, like a past event. So I'm gonna take off a point on that, just teeny nuance. All right, and then he says todo, and that's the toad spell. It's the English word toad. Todo, and it's toad everywhere. All right, he does a spell. We got spelled. We did indeed turn into a gigantic frog. Are we gigantic? Or are we little? Oh yeah, we're little in battle. And so we have the toad status now. And Cecil is a toad. Everyone has a different toad sprite. Also, it's kind of fun. Alright, and when you're a toad in battle, you're naturally a lot weaker. We could try to heal it. Or we could talk to this same Mysidia guy, and he'll do the toad spell again. And he's that dumb that he doesn't realize that it will undo the toad spell. Haha, I win again, Cecil says. No, I'm joking, he doesn't say that. Oh yes, this is the best part of Mysidia, is now we have access to the high potions. This is the first time we get shop access to high potions in the game. And I never miss getting the high potions. I'm only gonna get 90, that way it won't overflow and mess up my inventory when I get more. Alright. For only 13,500 gil, I got enough healing for maybe the rest of the game. Do that. I gotta do some inventory management later. You guys will enjoy that, I'm sure. 22 hours in. Alright. I'm pretty sure that this shop will have different items than other versions. But it has a potion, high potion, phoenix down, a gold needle, the echo grass, what is that called? Yamabiko, so. Oh yeah, that was dummied out. That's the one that lets you, cures your mute status if you get muted. It literally means like Yamabiko is like a fancy older term for an echo, like a mountain echo. There's like more standard words for it. And so is like a grass suffix or a plant suffix sometimes. So like echo grass. And this was dummied out in easy type and super, so that became just dummy. J2E became echo herb. In America we don't like to say this H, so it becomes echo herb, I guess if we pronounced it. I'm of the school of thought that I really like that H in there. Echo herb. Let's bring back the H. And then echo herb and naming me also. I mean, I had like a relative named Herb, and we pronounced the H then. The H is in there for a reason. We need to honor that H. And then well, yeah, we can buy a bunch of cottages. We'll just do a bunch of cottages. We don't have to use tents anymore. I don't really ever have to use the word herb in normal everyday stuff anymore. Unless I'm talking about like KFC's herbs and spices or something, but I don't ever talk about that. Okay, I guess I'm going to be selling some stuff real quick here. I'm selling all my tents because I now have cottages, which are cabins also. Alright, I'm going to sell my shadow blade. I'm going to sell my... Oh, we don't need the harp anymore because that's Edward's, and Edward's never joining us again. Spoilers. Yeah, Edward got knocked off the ship too, apparently. Everyone got separated. Okay, crossbow. I don't want that. Tetsu, the iron stuff, don't care. Don't care about that. I'm selling my equipment that is old now. It's like outdated equipment. Selling one of his darkness swords to the... I probably brought this sword to Mysidia when I sacked it at the beginning of the game. Now I'm just going to sell it to like... Not even the weapon shop, just the item shop, like that sells potions. I hope they don't like use it against me. Okay, let's see. I don't think I need a whole lot more. Alright, looks like I sold everything that is worth selling right now. Yeah, what I'm gonna maybe do is get that, do they sell it? They sell like the cure-alls here? If they sell cure-all spells or items, I'll do that. Nope, they don't. Yeah, we'll learn about more harps later. Alright, so I want to stay outside for now. Here's another dark mage we're going to talk to. Remember, we're hated person number 1. I'm surprised there's not a bounty on our head, to be honest, you know? Okay, so this guy says, Omae ni hanasu koto nado nani mo nai. And that just means I have nothing to I have nothing to say to you. But pretty emphatic. Like there's a lot of emphasis things going on in here. In Super NES, that just becomes "go away!" exclamation. There's a lot of emphasis stuff going on there. J2E, I have nothing to say to you. Get the hell away from me. This "get the hell away from me" was added. Took off a point there. And we can indeed see that it was added into the newer patch. The original just says, I've got nothing to say to you. Naming way just says, leave. Alright, took off point there. Okay, we're going to this white mage over here behind some shops. It does something, or she. Usually these white mages seem to be she's in Japanese, not always maybe. Well, let's keep an eye on it now that we're mage visiting. Okay, so we talked to it in the we talked to this mage in our Dark Knight armor, and the mage goes hee, like kind of like a shocked sound, like we're probably spooking them. Then, if you press the button, it says Baro no ... so barons ... Ankoku Kishida, Dark Knight. So basically, it's Baron. It's a Dark Knight of Baron. It's kind of how that all comes about. I don't want to even say it was the. It might just be an A. And then after this, the character will leave and jump away. But I don't want that to happen yet. In the Super NES, that becomes wow! Exclamation. The ... Dark Knight of Baron. I feel like everything here is wrong. Like they're probably scared for their life, which is why they jump away. And they're like, wow, the Dark Knight of Baron. So a lot is missing there. First wow is wrong. The Dark Knight of Baron. It's more just saying than like saying it's a Dark Knight from Baron. Okay, I'm just gonna let it go. J2E. Oh, it's Baron's ... Dark Knight. This one lands a little wrong from what I would have liked, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say it's okay. Naming way. Eek! The ... Dark Knight of Baron. That also lands strangely to me compared to what's going on. I mean, it makes sense because this line is kind of strange and the actions that happen after are kind of strange, so it makes sense that it kind of mystifies people. Alright. And then the white mage tries to jump away into the trees. However, you are not free from Cecil the Dark Knight, because I can just walk up to the trees and talk again. And then we can just do it again. And then the white mage jumps even further away. While we're here, I'm going to try something. I've always wondered. Yay, she's still there! I turned off the sprite layer for background layer for one of them. And they're still there. If I could walk to it, would probably walk to that sprite. It would probably jump again. It's the power of emulation. So emulators, like Super NES emulators, started getting really like powerful and good. Maybe around this time 30 years ago, like 96, 97. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but it's probably good historic knowledge to know. Alright, we got some more people outside to talk to. I think we talked to this one already. Oh no, okay. Here's another white mage talking. This one is more polite to us, but still commenting on our situation. Hito ga hito o kizutsukeru ... Kanashi koto desu. Period. That means people hurting people ... It is a sad thing. This kind of flows that way. It's like 2 sentences, maybe 1.5 sentences, I'm not sure. In the Super NES, it is a sad thing that men should hurt men. I really like that it's hito and not like technically men, not masculine. There's no masculine in there. Just hito is kind of person, but it can also sometimes mean man. Hito is like, yeah, here it has man, person, human being, mankind, people. And I know that like, I don't know, it just opens up an ambiguity. And then I would have liked this to be like people. It's a sad thing that people should hurt people. Okay. I'm not gonna mark this off, but I really would have liked this to say people instead. J2E, why do men hurt other men? Like this almost feels like it is like if this is happened to be a woman speaking, it could just be like a comment on, I don't know, gender stuff. I don't really know. It's just sort of like when you're not careful with words, you can open yourself up to loopholes, ambiguities, kinds of other things like that. It was always that way though, in J2E though. Alright, naming way. It's sad that humans hurt other... It's sad that humans hurt each other. And that's the closest, I would say. I would say people hurting other people, it's sad. Or it's sad that humans must hurt other people. People must hurt other people. Alright, so we'll let all of these things slide. I gotta close the windows just a second. I will give you guys a sound. Here's a sound. Okay, I'm back, but again I'm repositioned, so I hope everything is okay. Like I had just opened the window to bring light in, but it turns dark real fast, so it's crazy. I wonder how long that time was. Alright, so, okay, here's another black one. Okay, that's that one. Oh, that's the one that changes us, right? Everyone's getting kind of like, oh, everyone has to go up here in the corner. Get over here. I need to get that white wizard over here. I can kind of wrangle everyone over here. It's kind of fun. I've never done this before. Alright, I'm gonna recreate the attack on Mysidia by wrangling everyone in here. But I have to be real careful. I can't let them go. No, go. Ooh, yes. Oh no, go away. Yes, go that way. Oh no, that one got out. Okay, my mini game is over. I failed. But that was fun. Alright, so is this the toad one? Okay, that's not. Is this the toad one? Alright, I got toaded again. But again, he's so dumb. You may have those magic smarts, but you don't got the street smarts. Alright. There's a black wizard in front of the Devil Road building. Just kind of like blocking the entrance. We'll get to go in there eventually. But right now, they're just kind of blocking it. And the black wizard says, Koko wa Baro ni tsujiru Debiru Rodo. This is the Devil Road that leads to Baron. And then Super NES, this is the Serpent Road leading to Baron. Okay, good. J2E, this is the Devil Road that leads to Baron. Okay, good. Naming way, this is the Devil's Road leading to Baron. Okay, all these things are in there. Alright, the wizard continues. Anna koto ga nido to okinai o fuin sarete imasu. So that means it has been sealed away or sealed to prevent such a thing, that sort of thing from ever happening again. So Anna koto is like that sort of thing. It's not specifically saying what happened, but saying like referencing it indirectly. That indirectness is lost in the Super NES because it goes, it is now sealed to prevent the further Baronian raids. There's weird grammar here from like a non-native Japanese speaker. I mean, whatever. Alright, so I just took off a point on that. Also, like I said, it adds in details that aren't technically in there. Alright. J2E. To guard against future invasions, we sealed it off. And it's spelling out exactly what is being said. It's just saying, like, we never want that to happen again. Like, never forget. And J2E just took out a word there. To guard against future invasions, we sealed it off. There's an active, passive, verb stuff going on in there. I won't drag people through all of that stuff. Okay. Naming way. It's sealed now to prevent any further raids. So all of these are way more like filling in the blanks. And they're more direct than the original Japanese. Whether or not that's a bad thing or good thing, it's up to you. As a translator, you want to try to convey the intent of the creator as fully as you can, even if it comes down to little things like that. Alright, another white wizard is saying, Anata tachi no sei de watashi tachi ga dore dake kurushinda ka. ... That means, it's like we've suffered so much because of you guys. Because of all of you, we've all suffered. But it's sort of a question. It comes in the form of like a question. So Po is driving her chair into the office now.
It's making noise.
And another way you could look at this is like, you have no idea how much we suffered because of you people. Alright, so Super NES. You can never imagine what we suffered from because of what you've done to us. I would have liked this to be more streamlined. It's kind of like bulkier than I would have liked it. So it's like you have no idea, or it could go multiple ways. It's kind of like an unfinished sentence. It's your fault that we suffered so much. That's not the translation I would have given, but okay. All things I just said, ignore all that. So we're going to J2E now. Do you know how much we've suffered because of you? That's pretty good, but it doesn't feel like a direct, like what is that? Like a direct attack at Cecil. It's more just a comment on the situation. Like this particular mage has always been kind of like a little more soft-hearted than the rest, as we'll see later in the game. Not this stream. It's like we've suffered so much because of you. Right. Naming way. Do you realize how much we suffered because of you? It also feels a little more direct than I would have liked, but I'll let it go. Alright, so Black Mage is really pissed at us. And he says, Kisama yoku koku ni koreru na. He says, it could go many ways, but I'm oppressed. One way you could say is like, well, Kisama is like super rude way of saying you. So he's saying, I'm impressed that you could come here. Like, I'm impressed that you could even come here, but I wouldn't translate it that way myself. I would say like, you have some nerve coming here. And then for the Kisama, you can reinflate it with like a swear word if you wanted. Like, asshole, bastard, stuff like that, if you wanted. Alright, Super NES. How do you have the nerve to come here? Just a question mark. I would have liked that to be stronger, but it gets the job done. You have some nerve coming here, maybe. Would have been sharper. Okay, J2E. You bastard, you've got a lot of guts coming here. It's a little more than I would have wanted, but it's got the spite dripping off of it. That's good. Yeah, look at just like the feeling of J2E versus Super NES there. He feels so much like he wants to rip our face off feeling, you know? Like he's really pissed at us. Alright, naming way, and in contrast to that, you've some gall to return, period. Nah, he's really mad. Alright, so I think we can go inside some buildings now.
This is my favorite song in the game.
Yeah, Aquas did a good song for it. I'll play that. Maybe we'll play that sometime on stream.
Was it Aquas or the person?
Yeah, Old Man Tella.
That was Aquas?
And it's like this a song about Tella eating pizza, and the lyrics are to this music. It's just like pizza ingredients. He's ordering his pizza.
The Old Man Tella is the reason I like this song.
All right, so we're inside the armor shop, the Boguya, and there's the shop owner, but there's also a black wizard just like running around. So let's talk to the black wizard. Okay. ここに売っている品は貴様のような暗黒騎士には触ることも恐れ多いものだ. It's kind of fancy phrasing he's saying. You can see the Kisama in there, so he's clearly not happy with us. Okay, so the wares, Shina is wares or items that are sold here, that they sell here, are like too much for a damn dark knight like you to even touch. It's kind of how that goes. Osore oi. I wonder how that works out on here. They're like awesome, awe-inspiring August, I guess you could say. I don't really like this dictionary's use of that, but yeah. There's just like a lot going on. Alright. Super NES that became things here are too sacred for you to even touch. Things here. Does that just mean all of Mysidia? Or does it mean literally it seems it's talking about the wares being sold here? Take off the point, because I remember being kind of confused by that as a kid. I don't care about the exclamation. J2E. Well, yeah, also the part about Dark Knight, like that, and like the Kisama stuff, that's not really conveyed in Super NES, so when I took off that point just now, I'm okay with leaving it at that. J2E. An evil Dark Knight like you can't even touch the merchandise that we're selling here. Something about this also feels off. Evil is how they did Kisama no Yona. I guess so. I'm gonna let that go. Naming way, don't touch. This armor's sacred. Nah, he's like saying you suck so bad, you can't touch this. You can't even touch it. That's basically the vibe. You want me to do just like casual slang version translation someday?
I thought of MC Hammer.
You can't touch this?
Yeah.
Alright, so in this shop we have a bunch of items. Oh, I remember hating this when I was working on, like I used to do some Final Fantasy IV hacks and hacks of hacks back in the day. I even like took all the time to like reposition the cursors, and we can see that like the cursor is like on top of the text kind of in this menu. It just took me back to like having to look at all that sprite numbers, the ones and zeros. Okay, so this is the Sankaku Boshi, which is like the triangle hat technically, and we can see it called the Gaia in Super NES, Gaia something, triangle something in J2E, and wizard hat, maybe wizard something in naming way. This is also that's hats. You can see that they're all different. So which is it? Sankaku is definitely triangle. So three-cornered hat is how you would maybe call it, literally. But tri-tip hat is something that I've seen in some translations, tri-tip. There's also like another word for it, and I don't remember what that word is. So Sankaku no Boshi is kind of weird. So I guess in easy type, they changed this to Maho no Boshi.
Oh.
So magic cap.
Which is
yeah, it's more obvious what's going on with it. In Super NES, this became Gaia, and I have no idea why it's Gaia. I'm gonna take off a point because that's just confusing. J2E, triangle. I mean, that's what it is, I guess. We'll stick with that. And then wizard hat is not what it is in naming way. Do I care in this case?
But did they take it from easy type? We don't know. The Maho hat.
I'm thinking that actually it came from backwards.
Okay.
But the Gaia one really confuses me. The fact that we do have like a precedent with the easy type, I'll let naming way escape. This one?
I saved you naming way.
By the way, so naming way is like kind of leading, or like what's the opposite of leading? Trailing. But I do want to say that I have a lot of respect for the amount of work that goes into this. And even if you're not a translator, the amount of work it takes and all the compiling work and all the love that goes into it, I fully appreciate that. So don't worry. Like I talked about this on day 2, I think, or day 3, something about mistakes at the beginning of the stream. Look at that stuff. Also, if you're J2E people, and look at that too. So I don't want to don't think I'm kicking you or punching you. I was just curious about what all this stuff is. All right, so actually now the 500 gil, the item 2 that's being sold here is the Daichi no Koromo, which is like the earth. Daichi is like earth, like ground, like in that sense. I guess Gaia would work. Koromo is like a gown, garment, robe, something. It's also like what you call the breading on food. So it's like the earth garb, maybe you could call it. And I guess that's why it's called Gaia here in Super NES. Why was it Gaia up there? Why is it Gaia there and then Gaia there? That's so weird. All right, so they got Gaia, and that's where Gaia comes from. So in the easy type, oh I see. We're starting to see the patterns here. So the Daichi no Koromo, the earth garb, or the earth robe, maybe we could call it, became the Maho no Robu, which kind of iconic. It's using the word robe in English, the English word robe in easy type. So it becomes magic robe. This became Gaia in Super NES, Gaia robe in J2E, which is pretty good. I would stick with that. He used to speak Gaia before. And then Gaia gear in naming way. Gaia gear feels like it might have come from FF6 at some point. So that's where all that's coming from. Next we have the Gin no Udewa, which is like the silver arm ring, arm bracelet, something like that. Silver, so like it goes over your arm or your wrist or something. Bracer. I mean, there's other words, like kote is closer to bracer, I'd say. So silver, it just became in Super NES. Like I don't even think there was an icon. That's weird. Silver something in J2E, and silver ring in naming way. I would have not ring, because rings are different. You got ruby ring, and that goes, rings go on fingers usually, but I won't mark off on that. Then we have the Hikari no Tate, and that's the shield of light. That became the Paladin shield icon in Super NES, I guess. The light shield icon in J2E and the light shield icon in naming way. So they're kind of spelling out Paladin stuff ahead of time. Maybe it's a little bit of a spoiler, I don't know. And then the same thing happens with the helmet. Hikari no Kabuto became Paladin light and light. Then we have a suit of armor called the Naito no Yoroi. And Naito is the English word knight, and Yoroi is a suit of armor. That became the Paladin suit of armor icon in Super NES. The knight icon in J2E, and knight, a K-N-I-G-H-T, by the way, like the swords and shield type, and then the knight and naming way. So again, the Paladin stuff is changing in Super NES. But you might be interested to know why it's like this in Japanese, and that's because Final Fantasy has the Knight class. The series has the Knight class. So it looks like we're about to go have that class available to us, is what this kind of hints at. And then we have the Gantoretto, and that's the English word gauntlet. And because it's the English word, they changed it in easy type to Hagane no Kote, and Hagane is like it could be a couple things, but usually like steel, maybe. Yeah, steel bracer, we would call that. Steel gauntlet, forearm. That became Paladin and Super NES, so they just made everything Paladin, these last 4 items in Super NES. I guess that's helpful.
It is helpful.
Then gauntlet in J2E and gauntlet in naming way. Alright, so that's what is happening there. We have another shop over here. We have a weapon shop. We're going to go into this weapon shop. There's only the weapon seller in here. Well, yeah, for the word for today, here's what we'll teach you. A weapon in a game, especially like video games, is buki, like B-U-K-I, buki. And so this is the buki ya, and the ya makes a shop, so buki ya. Yeah, Here's buki.
That's a cute word for weapon.
Weapon, arms, ordnance, buki. It means like military implement, like war
Oh my god.
tool.
Not cute anymore.
Yeah, buki. It's like that's the bu from Bushido.
Okay.
And the ya, does it show up on here? Nope, not on this. It doesn't stretch far enough. Okay, so that's your word for the day if you want to know, buki. All right, what bukis do we got? We already saw the ice rod before. This is the first place where we can get a flame rod, I think. And it's literally a flame rodo in Japanese. Or it's like the English word flame and rod. It became hono no rodo, which is like hono is flame or fire, flame or blaze. Hono is a cool kanji. It's just a fire kanji on top of each other, two of them. But you don't see that here. Okay, so flame rod everywhere. Okay.
It happened.
It happened. We gotta do it. Except an easy type.
Well, you know.
Alright. We've already encountered... No, we haven't encountered this one. This is the Iyashi no Tsue. Iyashi is like soothing or healing. What does it have here? Soothing, healing, therapy, comfort, solace. And then Tsue is like a cane or a staff. Cane, walking stick, staff. So the idea is that this is going to like soothe you or help you in some way. It became the straight up cure staff in Super NES. Healing staff in J2E, and healing staff, I guess, in Naming Way. Whichever one you prefer, I don't know. Okay, then we have the crossbow, which we learned is called, what is that called in easy type? Just big bow, which is like if you drew someone holding a crossbow, it would be different from holding a big bow.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Sei Naruya. We saw this, that's the holy arrows. And again, the J2E, for some reason, in the modern patch, has a bunch of spaces and then a little lowercase s. So every time I see it on here, I think it's about to say holy and then a swear word. And I don't think they ever saw it because the numbers like cover up, like numbers to the right of it will cover up that extra s.
Weird. That's just like a mistake.
Yeah, like you can see if we click it,
Yeah.
it wasn't in there. I encountered a lot of little bugs and things like that while looking through each patch. Each patch had its own weird things. I think I found a couple spots maybe where J2E patches had to get updated every so often because like the game would just like crash or soft lock. And I think I found out why that was the case sometimes. We'll look at those when they come. All right, so we're out of there. Okay, I'm gonna we're doing okay on time. If we could do about 30 more minutes, that would be okay. Okay, now we're in the Sakaba. Saka, it means Saka is from sake. Sake is alcohol. And Ba is place. So it means like an alcohol place, literally, very literally, Sakaba. But usually it'll be translated as a bar or a pub. Here it's translated in Super NES as cafe. Mark that off. J2E, cafe. Why did they leave it as cafe? That makes no sense.
I think they did the same thing at the other place.
They did that. Yeah, they did that back in Kaipo. But I'm gonna mark it off because like at the beginning of one of these streams, I read what the J2E readme said, and I was like, "We're doing the things Nintendo doesn't want, or Square doesn't want you to see." Even the porn mag. That kind of stuff.
So edgy.
Yeah, that's a good term for that. But why would they? And there was like. They could have fixed it at some point, but there's no book here either. So they just left it for some reason. Then it's a pub in Naming Way.
Good job, Naming Way.
Alright, let's go up here. I don't think there's anything up here. But, what is my health anyway? Oh, I don't need it. Let's stay just for fun. We got all that money, we're gonna spend a lot of that money.
Will you eat?
Yes, will you eat? J2 edgy. Oh, that's really good. I think that's probably going to become like a motto. Oh, that's right. What I wanted to do is every time I mark off a point down here, a number up here will appear, and that number will change. Like, how many? If I press it twice up here, it'll say -2 here or something. But then when I go to the next line, it'll reset, and it won't be saved though, because that'd be too much work. but that way I won't accidentally mess up my scoring. Alright, so there's a poster on this wall here. And remember, early at the beginning of the game, Cecil and the Red Wings came and just obliterated things and killed people and arrested people and stole the crystal. So again, they're not happy. So this poster in this bar is going to represent that. And it says, Kristaru to nakama o ubata baron o yurusuna. That means, do not forgive Baron who stole the crystal and our friends. It's pretty harshly written too. Super NES, it looks like this became, well, it looks like this was edited by a native English speaker, possibly. Neither forgive nor forget the Baronian pillage and destruction. So saying a little bit, it's not talking about friends and crystals, but rather just the attack. So it's a little bit different, but the neither forgive nor forget, that grammar feels like not something that would have come out from the writer that we were just seeing a couple scenes back. Alright, I'm okay with this. J2E. Never forgive the Baronian pillage that robbed us of our crystal and the lives of our people. It's a little wordy and weird, but it's fine. It looks like it used to be something different. Never forgive the treachery of Baron who robbed us of our crystal and the lives of our people. Okay, this is not too different. And then naming me. Never forgive or forget Baron's raid. Okay, so there's two things of super importance here. The crystals and friends. And Baron. I would have liked Super NES to have details.
But you could technically say crystals and friends.
Pillage and destruction.
And destruction, yeah.
Alright. That's a good point. You're the devil's advocate. Are you working with the devil again?
Yes.
Well, they're gonna have to change you for Final Fantasy 2. All right, the crystal and friends thing. I don't. If a major attack happened on us, we probably wouldn't just sum it up with something like that. We'd probably be like, never forget the thing, like specific things that we lost. You know. So I'm gonna take off on naming way here. Specifics were mentioned there. They should be mentioned. All right. So we have we're now in the pub area, and we have like 3 dark mages, 1 white wizard, naming way, and a dancer girl. I don't want to talk to the dancer girl yet. Naming way is just going to be the same, so we'll skip naming way. But we'll talk to this first black mage at the counter. And because we're Dark Knight Cecil and we're like the scourge of everything, this wizard goes "Kanben shite kudasai," and that means like please show me please show me lenience, or please what is a good one? Pardon me, or please forgive me. Like, yeah, we got please forgive me and Super NES in there. Like, don't like yeah, I think it's understood what's being said. All right. So there's a second line in Super NES that says, "I've done nothing." That explains why he's saying that line. It's kind of reinflating my mind of what's going on. I'm going to say that I'm okay with this. I've done nothing. Even the phrasing is good. It feels like maybe those last second editors came in. All right. J2E says, "Please spare me, hick." So the idea here is that he's drunk, but he's not drunk at all in the Japanese. So I'm going to take off the point on J2E here. They added the H in the hick.
They added the drunkenness.
Yeah, they added the drunkenness. It was more correct originally. That's strange. Then naming way. Please don't kill me. Just like, please, like, spare me. He's like saying, please spare me. Please don't kill me is different. But I don't want to split that hair. He's scared for his life. I'll forgive him. If Cecil won't, I will. Alright, we're going to another black wizard. And I think this one actually will be drunk when we get to it. He goes, "Rusei Ankoku Kishinanza Kuakuneya." So he's saying, like, shut your mouth, or shut it. And then he hiccups. And then, "Ain't no dark night gonna scare me," kind of feeling. Like, it's kind of like a very casual, very drunk speak. I don't know. But all of that kind of gets lost in the Super NES. Oh, shut up. I'm not scared of you, Dark Knight. I like the funness of his character in Japanese. I was missing in the Super NES. I'm going to take that off. It makes sense because drinking is not a good thing in these games back in the day. J2E. Shut up, hick. Like, hick. He's not calling me a hick. I ain't afraid of no Dark Knight. Yeah. The tone on that is quite good. I ain't afraid. I would have liked if he took off that A instead of afraid. I ain't afraid of no Dark Knight. That could be even better. Okay. J2E, thanks for including the drunkenness here. Alright, naming way. Get out of here. Heck, I ain't afraid of ya. He's like, oh, shut up. Kind of feeling, not get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it slide.
I like seeing all the different ways you can say urusei.
Urusei, yeah. Yeah, urusei is such a strong, weird word. And like if I tried to look it up here, it's so corrupted, I guess. That doesn't even show up.
Yeah.
Alright. Is Nanza even in here? Oh yeah. Nope, it's not quite right in there. And Kawakane is also interesting. Alright, so we're going to talk to this white mage that's drinking with that black mage. And this one is really upset. Nakama o kaishite. And our friends, return our friends, is how that comes across. And so this is probably referring to the friends that were imprisoned in Baron. I mean, it could be the ones who are dead, but that's not a reasonable request. I mean, I guess we could. Let's dig up some corpses.
I mean, there are Phoenix Downs, but...
Yeah. We'll just supply them with the corpses. Alright. That just becomes, return our friends! Exclamation. That's fine. I really like the delivery of the Japanese. It's different in Super NES, but that's fine. J2E. Our friends! Give us back our friends! Okay, that's closer. Naming way. Monster, period. Release our people! That monster feels strange. It's more like monster is being judgmental of us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that judgmentalness at all from this. I actually kind of feel like there's some purity, politeness in this. Like they could have been really rude. They could have been so many things, but they just used that form of the verbs and phrasing. I'm gonna take that off there. I'm being a little picky. It's because we're drinking now. Alright, so now we're talking to the bartender. The bartender is being pretty polite and using some fancy words with us. Naga tabi de otsukare desho. Kore o nomi ni natte. I'm very polite. Like I'm using some slight keigo in here. And it's saying, you must be quite exhausted from the long trip, or you must be exhausted from a long trip. How would I need to pump this up. I need to reinflate this in English a little bit, so please drink this, I guess you could just say. Please drink this, please please enjoy this. Please enjoy this drink, you could even say something like that. Just being very polite with the offer. Super NES, you must be tired, period. Now drink it! Exclamation. So the tone on here is wrong. And just a lot of the translation stuff falls out because that's how it is. J2E. Oh, look who walked into my bar, ... The Dark Knight from Baron, period. New window. Here, have one on the house. I kind of want to make a new rule now.
Yeah.
If you're going to include a new window, if you're going to make a new window with new text, then you're going to get 2 points off if you do that. I might not even stick to that. I'll probably forget I'd say that. But at the very least, there are some lines that are not represented properly.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so the old J2E patch.
It was correct.
You must be tired after such a long journey. Drink this. Yeah, that's pretty close. And then that was all erased and replaced with, oh, look who walked into my bar. The Dark Knight from Baron. Here, have one on the house. Here, have one on the house is kind of pretty good for Koreo Onomine Natte. I would say that's okay.
I don't remember this. Are we about to get poisoned?
Yes.
Okay.
Naming way. Here, have a drink on me. the part about the long journey is missing. So he was gonna poison us anyway. He made the excuse. That's what that is. Like, you must be tired from the long journey.
Mm.
And Super NES gets that excuse in there. And then some weird effects happen on the screen. And then Cecil goes, which is like a cough sound. I doubt it even shows up in here, but nah. Okay, Super NES, he goes, ugh. J2E, ack. Naming away, ugh.
It works.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if I talk to him again, it won't cure me. Alright, so the bartender now says, in a different tone of voice, like he was polite before, and now he's gone down. Now he's like, kind of rubbing it in our face. Hon no choto doku o morasete maratta ze. Nakama no urami da. He's saying, I took the liberty of putting a teeny bit of poison in it. This is my grudge for my friends, or like, this is for my friends, is how we would probably localize it.
Mm-hmm.
This is for my friends, okay. Super NES, I poisoned you a bit, and you deserve it. Okay, I see how it's getting in there.
I do.
I would have liked him to mention friends, but yeah, like, he's doing this for his friends, not necessarily the crystal, but the friends, and I like that. I wish that detail was in there. Oh, I'm getting a headache, and also I'm getting dizzy. Did I get poisoned in real life? Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think I need some water, and also just I've been talking nonstop. I got one. You gotta drink this. I don't think it's poison.
Just a little bit of poison, just a little.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, that hon no choto, that hon no is the intensifier there. That's actually GLPT2, maybe 1, 3. I think it's 2 or 3. Hon no, barely, only just what? Just. You often get hon no choto. Okay. J2E, I put a little bit of poison in your drink. Damn, not strong enough. And no. There's 2 sentences that are wrong in there. Alright, this in the old J2E, it was, I put a little bit of poison in your drink. My way of avenging my friends.
Should have kept it.
Yeah. An editor came in and changed it.
Naming way. Birthday cake.
Yeah, that's a good phrase for that. Wash the birthday cake. Okay, naming way. Ha! That was poison. Now die, Dark Knight. Everything is wrong.
Very direct.
I'm gonna take off 3 on this. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my goodness.
Because there's like 3 sentences in there.
True.
It wasn't just a little bit of poison. It wasn't for his friends. It was just like, I'm gonna murder the hell out of you. Alright. And indeed, I am poisoned. Alright, so I better heal that. So I'm gonna use my Doku Keshi. Doku is poison or toxin. I think the word comes from the word toxin.
Keshi is eraser?
Keshi is like to erase. Doku and our equivalent in English is toxin, but other languages is kind of interesting. Then, so that Doku Keshi is like antidote, is what we call it. Oh, so even Doku Keshi does not exist in Easy Type. Its name still exists as dummy, and its description still exists. They even changed the description to remove the space. Dummy D in Super NES, that's fine. Don't need to look through that too much, because we've already done that, but let's use it. Okay. It'd be cool if I go back to him now and he's like, what? How are you okay?
He won't talk again?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do want to mention when we did the Funky Fantasy translation, Final Fantasy IV Google translation 10 years ago, Doku Keshi, the description was translated as neutralized Germany.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because Doku is Doku. I can just bring it here. Doku is a short word for Germany over there. Like the actual word is Doitsu, but when they want to write it in kanji, they'll use that kanji Doku, which actually in this case isn't the poison kanji, but means like solo or lone. They just use the kanji because of the name Doku, the way it's pronounced. And so that's how it became neutralized Germany. instead of neutralize poison.
I was like, where did they pull that out of? But
Yeah,
makes sense.
if you look at my book, my Funky Fantasy 4 book, man.
I proofread that many times.
So hey chat, hey YouTube. The book that I wrote about Final Fantasy 4 Google translation, it's a really fun book. You can look at it, all the pictures online on fangamer.com, but it's out of print, as far as I know. I would like it to be reprinted, but it costs a lot of money and manpower and storage space, and I don't want to have to try to like pitch that to Fangamer. But if there's enough demand, at least by the end of the stream series, if there's enough demand for that book, I might finance my own reprint. But I only if there's like enough demand. I don't want to print a book and then be stuck with a bunch of books for the rest of my life. Otherwise, we'll just do the digital version. But if we did the print ones, I would be willing to sign them. You know, no extra cost or nothing. All right. So that's the I put that out there. We have a couple extra copies just because of, you know, I wrote the book. All right, now we need to talk to the dancer.
Yes, the artist or the writer, they get a certain amount of copies.
All right, so there's a dancer in the pub. Okay, so remember, every town has like their own little dancer, and they always have like a little gimmick to the dance. In the first one, it was like, oh, she throws off her clothes in Baron, and the second one is like, oh, she jumps into the lake and does a dance, into the oasis and does a dance. And I don't know what it would be in Damsian because it got bombed, but in Fabul, it was the warrior monk like cross-dressing as a dancer or something. And here, we're gonna discover that there's something going on too.
Always something.
Mite, watashi no dansu, and it's very feminine in tone. Like if I just looked at this in a spreadsheet without any context, I'd be like, this is either a boy, like a little kid, not necessarily a boy, but it could be a boy, or a woman, or a girl. Watashi no dansu. I became, look, or like, watch this, my dance. Watch my dance. It's very, very personal, familiar feeling also. Super NES, watch me dance. J2E, look, watch me dance. Naming way, watch me dance. I won't stick on this line too long. It could be better. It could be reinflated in ways. It doesn't matter. Okay, so the dancer is now jumping around or like twirling around me, doing something mysterious, hopping in the air. The whole room turns a different color somehow, and Cecil looks down at his feet. He seems sluggish, and he says, "Nandaka nemuku natte kita." ... He says like, somehow I'm starting to feel sleepy. ... I'm feeling sleepy for some reason. ... Kind of feeling. Super NES, getting sleepy. ... J2E, I feel kind of sleepy. ... And naming way is dash yawn dash. I don't like that because it could almost seem like you can yawn in response to other things, like if you're bored at something. I'm gonna let it go, but I think it could have been done better there. And then some mosaic stuff happens.
I'm about to get my wallet stolen.
We wake up, we fall asleep, and we wake up behind the pub. An old lady is there, and apparently we are now a pig. We've been transformed into a pig by an old lady all along. And she laughs in like this funny way in Japanese. I really wish this was conveyed better. But it goes fa 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 ... Shugyo ga tarin no. Speaking in old person style. It is like an old lady. And she's laughing in a funny way, ... You certainly lack training is how that feels. You like got you good kind of indirect phrasing for that. Super NES, it becomes ha ha ha. Capital H on all those. That's pretty weird. It's not commenting on training stuff, so. Oh no. It's getting so late that my butt hurts. That pig spell hurt my butt in real life. Alright, then J2E, there's some clear punching up here. She says, ha ha ha, he he he, ho ho ho, sui, ha 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 ha.
It's a good song.
Is that a reference or a quote from anything? Because I don't understand why they would have decided to add all that in there. Like, instead of translating, like, if we look at the thing, it was always been this way. Anyway, so the sui is like in at least in American English, it's a phrase that's used to indicate that someone is a pig, or it's just a pig sound in general.
I thought it was to call pigs.
Maybe, but I think it's also like bullies will use that sometimes, but it always felt like more of a South thing to me. Maybe like a bayou thing. Old people in the bayou. So this is completely changed. All right, I'm gonna do my rule now. Every time there's a new sentence. All right, so the ha 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 is in there. He 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 is not. Ho 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 is not. Sui is not. Ha 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 is not. All right, naming way ha ha ha. I'll take off a point because that second sentence is missing. Did I take one off in Super NES?
I think you did, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing you asked, like, is this a reference to anything? The only thing that comes to mind is like the Wizard of Oz.
Oh really?
Like that song.
I don't think a bunch of
yeah, I don't think so.
A bunch of wacky teens in AOL chat rooms talking about Japanese video games are going to reference
the Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
All right. So currently, if you're curious, the score is now -170 for Super NES, -77 for J2E, and -176 for Namingway. Now, keep in mind, these are all negative scores now. We're all in the negatives. There's it's easy to say one is better than the other, but I think they're all just lacking in their own ways. And we could do better. We can do better. This is how I feel. It can be done better. And then she jumps away.
She just leaves town.
That's okay. I could heal that with an item, but we're just gonna use her stupidity against her.
Oh yeah? She's back.
Yeah, she's back in her disguise in the pub. If we watch her dance again, we should get healed.
No way, really?
Mm-hmm. A guy in town also turns us into a frog, and the same thing happens. If you're a computer programmer, if you know basic computers programming, what's happening is she's doing an exclusive OR on us with that spell, I guess. You do it once and it changes you, and you do it again and it reverts it. So that is the nature of this spell, perhaps. It's a computer science spell. All right. So she did her laugh and jumps away. And she jumps off the screen all the way. That's fun. Anyway, we're back to normal. She jumped through the trees, and apparently in Mysidia they love to jump, and they love to go through trees.
They need to somehow to release stress after the attack.
All right. So now we're gonna go into the main building of this Mysidia. It's like a complex of buildings, but okay. So we've taken the first step in. The Japanese game calls it the Inori no Yakata. No, Yakata. What's the pitch accent on Yakata? Oh well. It means like the manor of prayer. You could also say house of prayer is pretty common. The mansion of prayer. But whatever it is, Inori is definitely prayer. Inori comes from Inoru, to pray. You can also sometimes use it to mean wish, but we'll talk about that in a second. Alright, so this became in the Super NES House of Wishes. And it became wishes because prayer is a religious thing, and Nintendo of America was like really scared of causing any kind of hubbub with religious people. Remember, this is around the time when Mortal Kombat was coming up. And there was already kind of like the forward movement of games getting too good looking, getting too good sounding, too realistic, so any kind of cultural thing could hurt. Like it would spook the older generation, I guess. They get spooked, even though it's just like, a digital puppet play is happening. So Nintendo was aware of that, and so they put in their whatever guidelines, not even guidelines, they're like rules, I guess. So wishes came from prayers. However, we're going to discover that they kind of messed up and didn't change every prayer. Anyway, well, first let me take that off, because that is one of the changes. Okay, J2E says Tower of Prayers, so that's plural. And this tower is not necessarily correct. Yakata is mansion, small castle, boat, cabin, boat. I never knew that about. Oh yeah, Yakata Bune. Yeah, okay. So it's like a a mansion-y thing. It gives like a spooky vibe when I think of it sometimes too. Okay. It became Tower of Prayers in J2E. I'll let that tower stand. Okay.
Oh, I get it.
I did that a couple times already today. It was weird. The naming way goes House of Prayer, and it's singular. House of Prayer is pretty good. Alright. I don't want to talk to the Elder today. We're going to talk to the Elder tomorrow. Alright, so we got some books here. Let's look at the books. I like that this game lets you read books, but it doesn't always have books all the time. That's too bad. Uh-oh, we have cats bugging us. Alright, so this book, on this bookcase, Hi, Tsuchi, Mizu, Kaze, ... Suete no Minamoto. So, this beginning part might even sound like the beginning of Avatar The Last Airbender, but Hi is fire, Tsuchi is earth or soil, or ground or land. Let me just bring it up so you guys can see it. Hi is fire, yeah, it's the third one there, fire, flame, blaze. Tsuchi is earth, soil, dirt, the earth, the ground, the land. Mizu is water. It's like the kind that you can drink. There might be different words for other types of water. Kaze is wind or breeze. And as we've seen, like this gets handled as air in some things. ... Suete no Minamoto, like the source of all things. Minamoto is really cool. It's like the source or origin of things. It's just one kanji. Alright, so the origin of all things, the source of all things is the fire, is those four elements. Super NES. Oh, there might have been formatting, but it might have got wrecked in my sidebar. Fire, earth, water, and air. So they don't do the Oxford comma. Elements of everything. ... Okay, I'm okay with all that. J2E. Fire, earth, water, and wind are the basis of everything. Looks like there was a change there, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so Super NES went with air, J2E went with wind. Naming way. Water, fire, earth, Oxford comma, and wind. Colon, the four elements. This four elements I don't think is good. Like the source of all things, like there's like in real life, atoms are what the basis of everything. But that same concept is missing from naming way. It's just saying that it's the four elements. What of like the basis of everything. It's like it's almost scientific. They're like scientifically researching magic here. It's so cool.
Oh.
It's pre-Magitech, you guys. Okay. So a black mage is just like, he's very curious and he's just walking up to us, so I talked to him. There's an easy type change in here. I used this guy to test my easy type scripts to see if it would work. So I've seen this guy a lot. He uses some fancy words. So he goes, Ashiki kokoro wa itai doko kara umareteru no desho. So, evil hearts, or hearts of evil, just where are they born from? Like where do they come from? Is sort of the idea. Where do hearts of evil originally come from? Where are they born from? That line, ashiki, is kind of a fancy older word, so they changed that just to the more standard aku no kokoro, so heart of evil. The equivalent would be like if we used the word wicked or vile instead of evil or bad. That's not a big deal. Okay. I'll just read the whole thing. Dareshi mo hajime wa mukuna akago nano ni ... And this is also like kind of fancy wording. It definitely has a scholar feel to it. And Dareshi mo hajime wa, so everyone starts out as like muku. Does it show up on here? Muku? I get the feeling that it's more like unsoiled or like let's just say pure. Let's just say they're like, everyone starts out as like a pure baby, and yet ... Everyone starts out pure as a baby ... And yet, okay, so that's how that works. Super NES, how can one become evil? I cannot say ... Everyone is an innocent baby at the beginning. I'm gonna say I'm okay with it. It feels like it came out of Final Fantasy 1's writing. I really get a Final Fantasy 1 vibe out of this. I'll say it's okay. J2E. Where do evil hearts come from? I'm not sure. ... This I'm not sure ... isn't in there. This I cannot say is not in there. It's more just like good question to begin with. So this I cannot say is technically not in there. I'm gonna take off point there, and also J2E. Just for that sentence kind of getting in the way there. Where do evil hearts come from? I'm not sure. ... Everyone starts out as an innocent baby. ... Yeah, they added the I'm not sure in there in J2E. It used to not be there, so that's okay. I called that one, I guess. Naming way condenses everything down. The philosophicalness of it, the scholarliness of it, becomes how do innocent babies grow up to be evil men? Kind of just like punches you in the face with the idea. Yeah, I'm gonna take off point here because like the second line is pretty good. Everyone starts out. Yeah, it just says we all start out. Like we all start on an evil footing. Is kind of
evil.
Yeah.
You said evil footing.
Ooh, evil footing. Maybe on like Halloween, we are on evil footing.
Yes.
All right, so I took off a point on naming way there. I'm happy with that. Right, is there a new one there? No. Okay, we have another book here to read. Kuro Maho Taizen. That's like Encyclopedia of Black Magic. ... The ... is more like there's probably more to this book, and we're just browsing it. So Black Magic Encyclopedia. Taizen is Complete Works Encyclopedia. Taizen. Notice that Taizen can also mean calm, composed, self-possessed, firm. So we'll see that in a second. Super NES, the Encyclopedia of Black Magic. That's correct. J2E. Breathing techniques for casting black magic. And that is where there's a mistranslation. This ties in. I get the feeling that at this point, the translator, at least one of the translators, probably most of them, were not actually like proficient yet. They were still just up and coming fans. They were real big fans, and they were like kind of reaching further than their skills allowed. That's very common. You remember the Skyrender stuff from FF6. So you can see the second meaning of Taizen with a separate kanji is calm, composed, self-possessed, and firm. I think they looked up Taizen in a dictionary and went with that one.
Yeah, because there's no kanji to compare it.
And they used to say, I must calm myself to cast black magic, and that's also wrong. So J2E, genuine mistranslation here. Naming way.
Take off?
Oh, did I already? Okay. Naming way, Encyclopedia of Black Magic. Okay, that's all fine there. Is there one over here? Oh yeah, so this book is different. Yeah, like the consistency of these bookcases is so weird. Hajimete no Kearu. That means like my first cure. Like that Kearu is the cure spell name. Hajimete no is like first cure spell, first cure. But the feeling is like, it feels like a dummies book. So like my first cure. I mean, I guess it could be like the very first cure that was ever cast. It could be a book about that, but I don't think so. It's more like
my first time.
Yeah, like for kids maybe, I don't know. Okay, that became The First Cure. It's kind of a cool book title if you take it out of the context of everything. The First Cure, like all the ambiguity I was just telling you about, it's still lurking in the Super NES. I kind of like how that works. I'll say it's okay. My First Cure, J2E, My First Cure, and EZ-reader. It's a little cuter, goofier than I would have liked. It feels like it's working design spirited in here. It used to be My First KL and Easy Reader, so it was about the same.
Okay.
Naming way, My First Healing Spell. I would have liked that to actually be a cure. I'm gonna take that off.
What do you think about, the common thing is baby's first blank? What if that was the name?
It could be. That's one where I would definitely want to talk to the original writer.
I see.
At the original time. But again, for the end player, the end player who only plays one version of this game, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But as a translator, it has to matter to you. You have to have care. The first cure is the first care. Hajimete no care. Let this game be your first care if you haven't thought about translation like this before. Alright, so did I already talk to that guy? No. Okay, so there's the Elder, but then there's like a black wizard and a white wizard standing side to his side. I'm talking to the black wizard now. Oh, we have an airplane. ちょうどはすべてをお許しになられます. He's being very polite. Like KEIGO-ish. So the elder will forgive all, or forgives all, one of those. でも私はあなたたちを許す気にはだ。And that means the elder forgives all or can forgive all. But as for me, there's an unstated verb at the end of this, so I have to fill in the verb. So as for me, this is so crazy, right? As for me, I cannot necessarily build up the will to forgive you people. ... It's kind of how that goes. Yurusuki ni wa. It's like, I'm not ready to forgive you yet. He may be really willing to forgive you, but not me. ... Is how this goes. Alright. Super NES. Our elder, capital E, forgives everything you have done, but I cannot ... You have done... I don't know. It might just be that he forgives everything. Like he shows forgiveness to all things that ever happened, not necessarily to this one act. So I don't know if this belongs here. Well, I'm just gonna leave it though. But I cannot. He's saying that like he's maybe willing. In Japanese, he's like willing to, but just can't quite reach that point. In Super NES, it flat out says like I can't. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. But that's again, there's weird verb stuff going on here. I'll skip that. J2E, the village elder, Chodo, eldest senior. It just means like oldest, but whatever. Basically, village isn't in there, but that's fine. The village elder forgives everything, but I will not forgive you. ... Okay, so this is pretty good. Yeah, you can see where I'm talking about you have done versus everything. Like just in general, we can see that happening in those. Naming way. Elder, just elder. I guess his name might be Elder. Elder may forgive you, but I can't. ... No. He's saying that the elder either forgives everything or he'll forgive everything about the incident. The whole thing about forgiving all is really important, and not just forgiving you. I'll take off the point on naming way on there. Alright, so there's that guy. Then, the white mage next to the elder says, Koko wa inori no yakata. Yakata. Chōrō ga o hanashi o kiite kudasaru sou desu. This is the house of prayers. I hear that the elder will listen to what you have to say. And there's just like nice politeness involved. Super NES. This is the house of prayers, period. And then nothing more after that. So like
no capitalized house.
Yeah, I would have liked capitalized house. It's weird that prayers is in here when it should be wishes. So
wait a minute, yeah.
We have an inconsistency here. Ironically, I'm not going to take off a point on that because it is.
That's correct.
Yeah. So yeah, there stuff would get through and it wouldn't matter in the end. So like Nintendo being super scared and super strict about things. It might have just been to like cover their own butts, but whenever this sort of stuff happened, I guess it didn't matter. Because this the FF2 for Super NES it received at least one revision, right? One revised ROM version. They could have easily fixed things, but I guess they didn't. Okay, but the part about him hearing you is gone, so I'll take off a point.
When someone suggested give them a point for saying prayers.
Alright, but then I have to take off another point. So it just counters.
Okay.
Alright. J2E. This is the house of prayers. The village elder will listen to your story. Alright, so I'm going to be super picky here. I'm not going to take off this point, but I want to point out that when you put so des at the end, like verb, and then put so des at the end, it's hearsay at that point. So like, there's hearsay, there's clear hearsay involved. I would have liked that hearsay. Like, it feels like they had discussed it. And then it sounds like the elder will hear you. Maybe if it was me, you wouldn't hear me. I don't know. Alright, naming way. This is the House of Prayer. And so I'll take off a point just because it's missing the second line. Alright, so I think that's about it. What I'm gonna do now is, I think I'm okay health-wise. No, I lost 5 HP. So I lost some HP, but I'm not gonna die. So I'm gonna save it out here. And tomorrow, we will start by talking to the Elder. That scene is gonna be so long. The Elder scene, any scene with this Elder is so long, you guys. So we might be stuck talking to the Elder for most of the time. But if we don't, we're gonna meet Palom and Porom. They're gonna join our party. And we'll head out east to Mount Ordeals, or Ordeal, I forget which one it is, Mount Ordeal or Ordeals. Oh my gosh, that cat scream. And then we'll just go up, maybe we'll meet Tella. I don't think we're going to finish all of the Paladin, I don't think he's going to be a Paladin by the end of tomorrow, but if we're lucky it will. So that's all for this time. If you guys have any questions, please post them in the chat or on YouTube and type BBQ in the chat so I can catch them more easily. Hopefully I didn't miss anything important this stream. I feel like I always do. I guess that's it. Thanks everyone for coming by. I'm going to now break out of here. And then we're gonna go. Bye everyone.
Bye.